Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day. No, you're fine, dude.
It's okay.
Come on, man. You don't have a giant. Bert Kreischer's head's twice the
Oh
size
my
of yours.
God.
He wears them.
Okay.
You can adjust it, too.
I
You
feel
can
like
pull it
I'm
to the
going
side.
on up to the mothership with these things.
Do. Dude, you fucking killed at the mothership. That was the funniest I've ever seen. You were so loose and so silly. It was fun to see, man. It was, first of all, you could tell you've been doing stand-up. You looked super comfortable, but you were so loose.
It's, it's stand-up, as you know, is a rhythm, and you just kind of figure it out when you're on stage, and you never know what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that night was just, David was nice enough to let me on his show, and after I, put my finger under his boob sweat, I went like this. I like to do that a lot, and then he's got sweaty brows, and I did like that, and it got me excited.
Pheromones.
Yeah. And then I went, and then I saw Montgomery, and he had flip his hair over, and then I punched Hans in the stomach, and then I got on stage. It was all happening.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sequence of events.
Yeah. So no, it's what you set up there. It's it's in my veins. It's really in my veins. Like just the second I walked in that room, I just felt this focus. And that's what I said to you. I just really feel like there's a focus there.
Well, that club was a rock and roll club. I mean,
Yeah.
that you see the picture that's in the tunnel when you walk onto the stage?
Yeah.
When you see the big picture of Stevie Ray Vaughan? That's him
Yes.
performing
Wow.
on that stage in 1983.
Yeah, that's the
that photo's from.
old Alamo Draft House.
It was only the Alamo Draft House from I think it was like 2007 on.
Okay.
Before that, it had been a bunch of things. It was a pool hall at one point in time. It was a nudie movie theater at one point in time. It was a punk rock club. Like all the posters that you see that are in the green room, those are all posters of people performing at the Ritz. It's all like the Misfits.
So it was the Ritz before the
Yes.
Alamo.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
it's been the Ritz since 1927. It has to stay the Ritz. No matter what it is, that sign, the Ritz, always exists because it's a historical landmark.
Right. Yeah. I know. Well, it's just what you gutted it out though, and you just, how much? You allowed to say how much money you spent on it?
Yeah, well, I'm allowed to say it.
Oh, you don't say it.
No.
Okay. Well, he spent a lot. You spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, you had to spend
And those
money.
two stages
You have
weren't.
to pay construction people.
Yeah.
They need
No,
money.
I get it. But
yeah, they did a great job. They fucking nailed it.
Were there two stages before? Or
Yes.
Oh,
there was
wow.
two. They had converted it when they converted it to the movie theater. I think that's when they turned it into 2 rooms.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but we have the same architect, fortunately. So he knew exactly all the bones of
The
the building.
beams and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. Where the electricals.
Yeah,
all
so,
stuff.
there's this thing that's happening, and obviously I've been in it my whole life, since I was 4.
Yeah.
And, and it's, first of all, I'm so proud of you. I see you sometimes and we give each other hugs. I say I love you, but I don't get to say how proud I am of you. I've seen you my whole, for years. And on behalf of my mom too, because I know how much you love her, and I know how much she means to you, and I know how far you've come. I know how far you've come because I remember when you first stepped at the store, and I remember seeing you in Boston, and I remember because we're the same age and we came up at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you, dude. And when I saw you on that,
nice, man.
when
Thank
I
you.
saw you on that stage at MGM, when you worked with Chappelle, I was like, this guy's fucking funny, like really funny, dude. And I'm not just saying that because you become this, this massive business, and you're just this. I'm saying that from comic to comic. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and you're funny, dude. Well, no, for real, because
Thank
I've
you.
seen it all. I've seen the best. I
thank you very
I
much.
see you on stage. I see Kennison. I've seen Kennison. I've seen Pryor. I've seen Eddie. I've seen all these guys at their best. And then when I saw you at MGM, I'm like, fuck, dude, you're really like in the pocket. You're not pushing it. You know what I mean? And it's great.
Been doing a lot of sets, and moving out to here, it kind of changed everything. Because first of all, I realized how important the store was. Like I knew I was going to live out here, but that having a community and having a place where you get to see people do sets all the time, and you work with killers like all the time on the road. The thing is, you don't really work with other people that much. You work with the two people that you bring with you, or one person that you bring with you, and you're not like in the mix with all the killers. And I think that that's very critical to what we do.
Well, that's what you've done out here.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was the thing to do. It was like the thing to do. It was like there were so many comics that had decided to move here, and a lot of them knew that I tried to do it at another place and didn't work out. And so that was like a big delay. That took like an extra year. Yeah, it took a long ass time.
Yeah, I mean Hans, Montgomery, David Lucas, these working with Tony. And just seeing these guys grow, and now they're fucking headlining shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking
Derek Poston, Derek and Hassan
yeah.
Ahmad, those guys are killing it. They're so much tighter, and they're doing so many sets. Because we're doing 2 shows a night in both rooms. So there's 2 shows in each room a night. So they're getting all this stage time. There's open mic nights 2 nights a week, just like the store.
Yeah, I talked to Lucas at the store who works the bar, and I'm like, dude, you got to just move out to Austin because this is happening out here.
Lucas Earl, he's a funny dude.
Yeah, he's very funny, and he's a nice guy, and he cares.
Yeah.
And like you just said, your guys are becoming monsters on stage, and a lot of it has to do with the platform that you gave them. And I love the fact that you put the phones in the purses. They put the phones in the
yonder bags.
Yeah, it's fucking. I think every comedy club should do that. That is a definite sense of freedom.
Yeah, there's that too, and it also keeps people from being distracted. Like people are just so addicted to their fucking phones.
I know.
It makes the show better.
I wanted to put this in a yonder here, and it's off. I still just want to fucking throw it.
One of the things I've learned from doing this podcast is that it's really the only time during the day where I get to sit for a few hours and not look at my phone. Where I'm not always just checking my email, checking my text message, responding to text messages I haven't responded to yet, trying to keep up with email.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
I just did a 5-day pretty intense group therapy that I've been involved with since I was 19 years old, and deals with a lot of trauma, different things like that. And I'm actually a staff. I kind of help people out with the stuff they go through. And in return, when you help people out, you get help too. Like, for instance, for me, I've been doing it since I was 19. And it's a 5-day program, and it just helped me deal with the trauma, my parents passing, and, just different things that have happened personally in my life. Because, I know when I was on here last time, I was talking about the career and this and that and all these different things. And, a lot of those things that, happen to us as people and people listening aren't who we are. It's kind of, it's things that have happened to us that we become angry or become sad or we become depressed. But it's not who we are, because who we are we start off with as innocent babies. We go into the world and all these fucked up things kind of happen to us. And, the stuff with my family and the store and my mom, I'm not just a whatever guy. I'm not Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Even though probably underneath it, he's probably fucked up. But I don't have, but as far as being
a turtle shell.
Yeah, I have this emotion. I got that from my mom and my dad. And it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard. But so I feel pretty good, and it's difficult. But I want to look into the future, my next 30 years, and I just want to try to be joyful, and my thing is half full. A lot of us in life, we always look at other people, and we're always like going, like I can look at Adam Sandler, I can look at all these guys that are just, or I can, look at the fact of what I have, and it's, and I'm not the only one. I think everyone should, think about that, because especially like you said, with social media, everyone compares themselves, how many people are watching, how many people like us, and all that shit. And
that's so fucked up for kids, because they're just constantly comparing each other's likes and who's got more followers, and they're all competing against each other. And then you hear about these kids that are like YouTube stars that are 14, 15 years old, and they've got millions of followers. Like, what's the youngest YouTube star that has like a giant following? These kids are essentially getting like,
And the
that opens
TikTokers.
the toys. He's probably wasn't he like 7 and he had like
oh yeah, that guy's that's
my
insane.
God.
maybe he's 10 now.
Yeah, he's that guy. That's insane. That little kid probably can't go anywhere. Imagine him trying to go to the park. All the little kids probably freak out. Where's the toys, bitch?
What'd
What'd you do with the extra toys?
Yeah, but what about you? I mean, you've really like. I mean, you know, I've seen it. Everyone has seen it. You've just really. I mean, how do people get to you? It's difficult. Right? No,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how do you, like, for instance, like, you don't have a booker on this show.
Well, I do, but
Oh, you
but
do?
I don't like it. I choose.
Yeah, you're the booker.
Yeah,
right?
but it's not like someone like picks the lineup.
Yeah.
and then I go over it with them. No.
So, like, for instance, like, Nicolas Cage is my next door neighbor in Las Vegas. Like, he's a friend. I've known him for many years. Like, how would he get to you if he wanted
Oh,
to be on the
love to have him on. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I
He's
saw
amazing.
a video they did about his house in Vegas.
Oh, yeah,
With
on
this
60 Minutes, right?
Yeah. He's awesome. I love that guy. I met him once a long time ago at a boxing gym.
Yeah.
He was there with his son. His son was taking lessons at this boxing gym that I used to work out in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Super nice guy.
So,
But it was a weird one. You know, it was like, whoa, that's Nicolas Cage. Just hanging out in a boxing gym with his kid.
So how do people like that get to you to get
Like
on your
this.
show? Just like this?
Like this.
Okay,
He
cool.
he texts you, you text me, hey, what's
Okay,
up?
right. That'd be
Nice
great.
to meet you.
He would be great on your
Yeah,
show.
yeah, he'd be awesome. He's
Yeah.
a fun dude.
He's fucking, I mean.
With that Nicolas Cage movie, what was it? What was it? What was the act? I don't know if I fuck the title, but him and Pedro Pascal. Oh my god, that movie's good.
Yeah, he's
He's
The
fantastic.
unbearable weight of
Yeah.
massive talent.
Yeah,
yeah.
so good.
Because Mark Maron I see at the store all the time, and he's always like, you know, you're Nicolas Cage, your next door neighbor. You know, I wanted to hear the podcast, and I'm like, and I text Nick, I'm like, yo, my friend Mark Maron wants to be on the podcast, and he didn't text me back. You know, so I mean. Not to diss Mark Maron, I don't know. Maybe he was just too busy
Maybe
because
he
he's
went on
going
a retreat.
The what?
A retreat. Maybe he put his phone down for a week.
Yeah,
Maybe
he put
did
his
one of those things.
Yeah,
Could be.
So,
You know?
yeah. So I think he would be great on this. So
I would definitely
if I
have him
know
on.
any people that I think that you would like, I'll
Yeah, definitely.
pass them
Please
to you.
do.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's a weird thing to have like this sort of a show,
Yeah.
but I got to keep doing it the way I've always done it. This is the way I've always done it.
This is when you started in the basement with Red Band, right?
Well, we're in
You were in your couch, right?
on my couch, and then we moved to. I had a spare bedroom that I'd converted into an office. So then we converted my office into the podcast studio.
Yeah.
So it was half my office, half of it was the podcast studio. It was like so rudimentary.
It was so, dude. It was so like Wayne and Garth, you know, right? Just like in the basement.
It was, you know what it was? It was the response to, I loved the hang of being on those morning talk shows, but I knew that nobody would ever give me one. And I probably wasn't good at it anyway. Like podcasting is like anything else, I think. I think you get better at it the more you do it. If you go back and listen to my early ones, I was terrible. It's just, you get better at it. And I think that what we missed was like the Opie and Anthony hang. You do the Opie and Anthony show, it was a bunch of comics just sitting around talking shit about things. It was so fun.
So do you ever prepare for your interviews?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh really?
Yeah, depending on who they are.
Right. So did you prepare for this?
No, no, you're my friend.
He's like, fuck
I don't have
that
to prepare
guy.
for you.
This is just gonna
no, like
fuck.
I have to prepare for things like
Like scientists and
yeah,
things like
if,
that.
if someone's
yeah.
coming on to discuss something really crazy, like I really have to pay attention to what the questions are that I can ask.
Right.
Like we had Michio Kaku was on yesterday.
Michio Kaku.
Do you know who he is?
I heard about him. He's a scientist, right?
Yes, he's a quantum physicist, and he was on discussing quantum computing, and it's so
I can't even
above
open my laptop, dude.
It's so above my head.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so above my head. It's so hard to. He's like, he's so smart. It's like he's like hanging out with toddlers. You know, like what when he was 17 years old, he made a particle collider in his garage.
I don't know what a particle collider is.
It's miles and miles of copper tubing, and it sends something through it. And he photographed antimatter in his garage with this device when he was 17.
Wow.
Like, that's a different kind of human. You know, 17, you were hanging out the store. 17, I was in Newton, Massachusetts, like being a moron. Like, this guy was making a particle collider in his basement
Wow.
or in his garage.
Wow.
It's crazy. There's people that are just they're so much smarter than you, or in different ways, right? Like I don't think he probably wouldn't be a great comic, but they're so.
So you had to do a little research for what's it called?
Michio
Michio Kaku.
But some even more than that. Like it depends on whatever the subject is. Like some people I want to read their book first and then have them on, because I have questions.
Yeah, and then as far as living out here now, being in Austin. Austin is very, I don't want to use the word liberal, but there's a lot of hipsters and people with skinny jeans and that stuff. Is it weird being, because I don't want to say you're red or you're not red, because I don't fucking know. Most people think you're red. Yeah. Is it like you're red living in a blue city in a red state?
That is this is a blue city, but I'm not really red.
That's what I don't think either.
No.
Yeah.
I've never voted Republican in my life.
Right.
I think that both systems suck, and I think that what I'm pushing back against is the crazy ideologies. It has nothing to do with universal basic income. It has nothing to do with welfare. It has nothing to do with funding community programs and cleaning up cities. Like, I'm all for all that stuff. I'm even for higher taxes if I believe the government was competent with your money. I'm not like higher. If it's higher taxes and it proves that we have less crime and the world's a safer place, that would be great. But that doesn't seem like they know how to do that. And what seems like when you give a lot of money to the government, they create a lot of government jobs, and those government jobs make those people a lot of money. We looked into the homeless situation in L.A. And it's my friend Colion Noir told me about this because he's a lawyer and he went to San Francisco. And he was in San Francisco. He was talking to someone. He's like, "Why haven't they fixed the homeless thing? Is it like a funding issue?" And the guy was like, "No, it's the opposite. They make so much money. The people that are in charge of dealing with the homeless situation, some of them are making more than $200,000 a year, like $240,000 a year, and the homeless thing just keeps getting worse."
So what do you think it is?
It's
your opinion.
It's mental health.
It's
people that are addicted to drugs. Yeah. People. There's a lot of soldiers.
Sadness.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of vets that came back and their experiences were very traumatic for them, and they never recovered. And maybe they got on drugs as well. There's a lot of people with mental illness.
They need group therapy.
You know, it all started during the Reagan administration, I believe. Check if this is true. I think during the Reagan administration, they changed what they can do in terms of mental health institutes. They decided to let people out instead of there's certain people that just they have to be cared for. You know, they're so compromised that in a good, just society, you would care for those people. And there would be a dedicated place, just like this dedicated place for people who have bad knees. You go and you get surgery. You know, they don't go, fucking walk it off, pussy, hobble around. No, they have a place that's dedicated. Yeah.
No, it's similar to AA, right? I mean, AA is pretty much a place, for, we all have friends that are in AA, and they go there and they have, what is it, the 10-step rules?
12.
Or 12 steps. What not to do when you physically walk in a bar.
So here it is. 1981, President Ronald Reagan, who had made major efforts during his governorship to reduce funding and enlistment for California mental institutions, pushed a political effort through the U.S. Congress to repeal most of MHSA. The MHSA was considered landmark legislation in mental health care policy. So I think what happened was, when that MHSA Act got passed in 1980, what happened was they just started letting people out in the streets. When I was a boy, I remember a marked increase in homeless people in Boston when this happened. And I remember people talking about it. And they're like, "Dad, they're just letting them on the street now." That's not caring for someone. That's not being kind. That's insane. And you would see people just having screaming matches with themselves. Like, they're clearly mentally ill and clearly not on medication. Just screaming at people that aren't there and fighting demons and shit.
You see it on the streets. So if you were president in a serious, because obviously you could probably run and probably win if you wanted to. I know you don't want to.
Dude, I'm not running for anything.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you decided and one of your arms was mental health, And that was, what would you do if you were talking to, say, Tony Hinchcliffe was in charge of the mental health? What would you tell him to do?
That's the last person I'd put in charge. He'd have them all killed.
That's true.
So Tony Hinchcliffe would tell him, "Hey guys, keep backing up. We're gonna take a picture." Maybe the edge of a fucking cliff.
So,
Tony Hinchcliffe's ruthless.
so what would you say
It
to
wouldn't be
them?
me, but if somebody was president, if they were going to fix this, what they would do is reinstitute something like that. Change what that was and go back not just to the old way, but even better. Go back to a way where if you have someone who's mentally compromised, you know that they could be cared for, and we would be willing to pay for that in taxes. I'm sure we would. I'm sure we would. If they knocked homelessness down to like a tiny, tiny fraction of what it is now, and our tax dollars paid for mental health institutes, who knows if that wasn't like more profitable for the overall society? It probably would be. It would probably be more profitable if there was less break-ins, less crime, less people having overdoses in the streets, less assaults, less. I mean, who knows what horrific things go on in those encampments? They basically have there's like these chaos shanty towns in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the greatest country in the world, and everyone's just tolerating it. But meanwhile, if you jaywalk on Sunset, they'll fucking arrest you.
Yeah.
Like it, or at least they used to before.
So back to the AA situation, because my father, Sammy Shore, rest in peace, he was an alcoholic. So he had to drink. So it wasn't like one drink, but he had to keep going. So that's what he did is he had to stop to go to AA. So do you think there's something like that for people for mental health besides AA with all the, because there's some people that are addicted to pills or you know what I mean?
Well, I think if anything, we should open up all possible options and make them legal, and that would include psychedelic therapies. Because I know personally many people who have done Ibogaine. Ibogaine is not a fun one, apparently. I haven't experienced it myself, but it's a 24-hour experience that just rips you down to the core of your being and explains to you in some strange way all the different moments in your life that have shaped you and all the different things that have become a problem. People quit cigarettes like that after they do it. They quit heroin like that. It also does something strange to remap the mind.
Can you put up, was it Ibocent? What is it?
Ibogaine.
Can you put
Ibogaine.
that up so we can just stare at it for a sec? Ibogaine?
Ibogaine, yeah. And it comes from the iboga tree. I think it's from Africa.
Is it part of the ayahuasca thing? Or?
No, it's different. It's a different type of psychedelic.
And you think if you take that, or there's been studies, if you take that, then you can get rid of these things?
Yeah, many people have gone and sought Ibogaine therapy to get rid of pills, addiction to pills.
So then if you were president, which you're not, but you would tell your guy to say, go get some Ibogaine and give it
I would say to anybody
the people in jail or something?
What I would say to anybody who was going to be president, like maybe a Tulsi Gabbard, that would be something to do. If we could institute Ibogaine, if we had Ibogaine centers in this country where people could go and have these experiences, I think we could create better people. Wow. We'd have less people that are addicted to pills. Yeah. I mean, is it going to be a one size fits all for everybody? No, nothing is. Not therapy isn't. Psychedelics aren't, exercise isn't. There's not a one size fits all for anybody to fix your life. But if there's anything that has been shown to be very effective, I think we should explore that. And one of those things is illegal. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Right. And one of those things that is illegal is Ibogaine.
Yeah, my mom, when she started to get sick with Parkinson's, we took her to was it the Bahamas, and she got fetal cells injected in her. Yeah, and that was something that she was, she believed very strongly that, she was like, put some baby cells in me, put some dude, it was fucking insane. It was like me and Bob Wheeler, the Comedy Store accountant over there. We flew down to the Bahamas because you couldn't do
Where
it
did
here.
They get the baby tissue?
I don't know, dude. It was I remember it like it was yesterday. So we drove in the doctor, my mom paid like 20 grand or 10 or 15, whatever it was. Right. And they, within that, the package deal is the flight, the hotel, and then the baby fetuses. So we went down there, and a car picked us up. It had a sign, Mitzi Shore, and we went in there. And then we drove her the next morning, and we put her in a room with the doctor, and they injected her with fetal cells. But I personally, because she had Parkinson's for a while, I personally think it actually helped her. I think it prolonged. Because if you put the baby cells in there, they're obviously baby cells. Why is that so funny?
It's just so fucked up to think of. But that
she did it a couple times.
they've been shown with stem cells, just all kinds of stem cells. That
put the baby in me. What are you doing? Stop fucking around.
Is that what she said?
Put it in me. Let's go. You know what I mean?
That's your mom.
It's so funny.
Oh, your mom was the best.
Yeah.
I tell everybody that your mom was the number one.
She was so funny, dude.
Number one most important person in comedy that wasn't a comedian.
Yeah.
Your mom, 100%.
Yeah.
She was number one. So fucking
everything lined up.
yeah. They don't use baby cells anymore, but the baby thing, well, maybe they do.
What are you talking about? They're great. They really prolong my life.
But that is the reason why it took so long for stem cells to get use and funding in America, because the people, especially people on the right, thought that stem cells had to be like aborted fetuses. Like everyone connected.
You mean they're not?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So I remember when the really religious right-wing people were talking about that, I was like, oh no, like this is crazy. They're killing babies for stem cells. And then when I looked into it, I was like, oh, no. So there's a bunch of different, you get stem cells from bone marrow, you get stem cells from adipose tissue, from
I need some for my penis.
Woo.
Whoa.
Hey.
Boom.
Imagine if they figured out a way to make your dick bigger.
That's what I'm saying.
There'd be
or harder all the time.
It would just be like girls with giant tits.
Right.
That's what it would be like. Guys would just completely overdo it. They'd have a useless dick.
I mean,
There'd be a lot of Instagram pictures of guys with useless dicks. Just nothing.
I mean, I think there should be something like that. I mean, they take the fat off your butt and they put it into
your dick.
Yeah, into your dick, and they make it.
I don't think you should let them do that.
Right. I did. You know what? I did have a bladder surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
What happened to your bladder?
I was just peeing a lot.
Was it leaky or something?
No, it wasn't leaky. What happened was I would go pee at night, and then my bladder wouldn't empty. So I'd go pee, and then I lied back down. I'm like, fuck, I still have more pee. And I'd do that 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night. And then I finally went, I went to my doctor, and he sent me up with a urologist at Cedars, and he was this gay dude. And imagine that, a gay urologist, and this isn't a joke, this is real. And he's like, let me see your dick. I'm like, dude, that's not fucking cool. Come on, let me see it. The fuck? And so I showed him my dick. He's like, ooh. I'm like, what the fuck? No. So I did a procedure called Resume. So if you don't believe me, you can.
Why would I not believe you?
Well, I'm just saying, because it doesn't sound.
doesn't sound like you met
real.
an alien.
It doesn't. But it's Resume. I go, what does this do? He goes, well, once you do the procedure, then you resume how you used to pee before you had a pee problem. So you wake up in the. They steam your prostate.
Steam it.
They steam it. Yeah.
Press it.
Yeah, they steam it right there.
Resume procedure uses sterile water vapor, steam, that is injected into the enlarged portions of the prostate. The steam causes the prostate cells that are responsible for the enlargement to die, which then leads to shrinkage of the prostate, which in turn creates a more open urinary pathway. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
and it was a pretty easy procedure.
Science.
It was a pretty
amazing. Fix Pauly's dick.
Yeah.
With science.
Pictures, but
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't show the picture.
I don't want to see someone's dick get steamed.
So you wake up in the morning, or you wake up after the procedure. It's only like a 15-minute procedure. You wake up, and I had a catheter in my dick.
Yay.
And then I had a piss bag right here connected to it.
Oh.
So I said, how long do I have to wear this? He goes, for a week. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. So for a week, bro, I'm like saying high five to my friend. I might even seen you with
you
the
had a
pee
piss
bag.
bag?
I had a piss bag, yeah.
So do you like tape it to your body? Like what do
No,
you
you do a Velcro to your leg right here.
Whoa.
And so I had it for a whole week, and it was the best week of my life. Because I'd be going to dinner with friends, just be pissing and fucking talking at the same time, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Don't worry, go on. This is a great story. This is fantastic."
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then I remember driving from driving from LA to Las Vegas, and it's a 4-hour drive. I didn't have to stop once. But when I got to Vegas, I had a huge like piss tumor connected to my leg because you just keep peeing and then.
At what point in time does it become disgusting? Like you're charting around a fucking
after a week, then it's like a
week.
Yeah, after a week.
What's the longest you've gone without changing it? For real?
Oh no, you never change it.
I mean,
you just
dump it out.
Oh, you just every couple hours you dump it out.
Every couple hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
like,
then
you never like walked around like 4 or 5 hours with a bag of piss strapped to your leg.
No. But so
that's
was
what I thought
good.
he was saying. Is that what you thought he was saying? Yeah. We got confused. So you have to change the actual physical bag itself.
Yeah, you had to
Otherwise
change.
it probably smells.
Yeah.
Right?
But it worked good. So if there's any of your listeners that pee a lot in the middle of the night, check out Resume.
Did you eat any asparagus?
I was just talking to that.
Oh, did you see my pee was green or something?
No. Because if asparagus makes your pee smell.
Oh.
So I was wondering, like, could you smell it through the bag? That would be interesting. Because if, like, we all went to dinner, I'm like, Pauly, have some asparagus.
Right.
Like, if I knew that you had the piss bag on, and then if I just smell asparagus pee, I'd be like, you motherfucker, just sitting there peeing.
No.
I think, would you be upset?
Smell. You know what that is when you smell it.
I think I'll probably let everybody know I was peeing if that was going on. Like, hey, guys, I'm about to pee. Just to let you know. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, it was great.
It's tough to sell. Like, hey, that's actually, science has shown that it's actually the best way to pee because you just pee whenever you want, and holding your pee is actually very bad for you.
Really bad for you.
So we're just going to give this, everyone just start walking around with a piss bag slapped.
They need one for shit, I think. Don't you think? You know what I mean? No.
Well,
but
the dumbest thing we do for shit is just smear it with toilet paper.
Oof.
Like, once I got one of them toilets that squirts water at your butt.
Oh, wow.
You never had one?
No, I've seen it, but I never had one.
Pauly.
Really?
You got to get one of those. There's a whole bunch of them.
Wow.
There's one.
That's a bidet, right?
Well, it's not a bidet because it's like a toilet. It's like a toilet seat bidet. It's
Oh,
got
yeah,
like a
you
little-
have one in the
We got
other
'em here.
room.
Yeah. Go try it
your
out.
guy showed me around your place.
Go try it out.
Your guy showed me around your place. So you got the sauna and you got the cold plunge in the back?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's dope.
Have you done that?
I've done it, yeah. I've been
Yeah.
sauning. I mean, that's every time I see you talk about the cold plunge and the sauna, I'm like, yeah, that's my guy. That's
Cold
what I
plunge
do.
is the best.
Yeah,
Boy,
I
both
usually-
of them reset your brain so well.
Yeah, I usually go to the Russian bathhouse in New York and LA, and then also the Korean spa. I love
Ari
it.
loves that Russian bathhouse in New York. He's always going to those. Yeah, it's the best. It's so good for your body.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah, it's great. Yep.
Wait, you living in Vegas still?
No, I kept a place there, but I moved back to LA.
Oh.
Yeah, so
How is it?
It's cool.
It's all right?
Yeah.
Everything's good?
Yeah, everything's awesome. It's I don't want to tell you where my house is. There's people listening, but no, I'm very happy there. That's where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel good there, but I like to leave. I like it here, dude.
It's fun.
I fucking love it here. This is really cool here.
It's fun.
And what you're doing is I mean, it's great.
Thank
So,
you.
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole, I mean, it worked out better than I thought it could, but that was kind of the idea.
And I think it was kind of cool that, I mean, not kind of cool, but I think just obviously everything is up to this guy upstairs, but I think the 2-year kind of building up to it got your guys better, got everyone better, working at the Vulcan and working around town. And, it was this,
For sure.
it was this pimple that everyone was developing. And then finally, boom, the mothership came, and then boom, everyone's like, boom. And now it's just boom, 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 boom. And it's this
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Well, and also that everybody had kind of shared my sentiments about getting out. Like Tom Segura was one of the first. Tony Hinchcliffe was one of the first. I think Tony came out first. Ron White was actually already here before the pandemic. And it was also one of the reasons why I loved it. Because he was always telling me, he's like, it's the best fucking city. You ain't got to deal with all the bullshit you deal with in Hollywood. And, he would always talk so great about this town.
Well, I think what you're doing for comedy is great. I mean, you're creating this Emerald City for New York and LA and people to come out here. And you got all these stages. and it's great. And then also, Red Band started a club too.
Yeah, right down the street.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, it
Yeah.
was a club that already exists, and he bought into it as an investor, and they have a really nice room. It's like I think it's like 500 seats right down the street.
Yeah. And I think it's great because I remember coming to Austin in the 90s when I was touring, and everyone remembers Austin 6th Street music.
Yeah.
Austin 6th Street music. And now it's slowly starting to be comedy is the first thing, and then music is the second thing. And it's great. I think,
That one little spot, you have the Creek in the Cave that's on 7th, and then you have the Vulcan, which is on 6th, and we're on 6th. And then next to the Mothership is the Sunset Strip Club. They're all in the same area. So guys are walking from club to club and doing sets in town.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing 4 or 5 sets a night sometimes, especially when they're doing 2 shows in certain places. So it's and then there's other rooms outside. It's like people are starting their own rooms, which always happens. Like open micers, it's one of the things open micers have always done. Like they'll get a Wednesday at some place and they start, having people come in, they work a deal with the door, like really sort of, business-minded open micers have done that forever.
No, it's great. No,
Yeah.
it's great. And you're the leader.
Well, I just did it because I could, It was like one of those things. It was like if someone could, they should, and you can. So why aren't you? Okay, well you should. I had like a talk with myself about it. Like, God damn, do you really want to take on this? Because I would always tell people, be nice to comedy club owners because you don't want to be one. You don't want to be some person hoping that this guy shows up and he wasn't doing coke last night and he isn't on a 2-day bender, or he didn't miss his flight, or he didn't sleep in, or he didn't. There's so many factors dealing with your livelihood if you're a club owner, and then you have people get too drunk, they're crazy, they do this, they that, they wreck their hotel room, and you're constantly like putting out fires. I'm like, if you can make a harmonious relationship with a club owner, do it. Try to be as nice to them as possible. You work together. You don't want to be them. You don't want to open a comedy club. That's too much work. But now I wound up doing it.
Yeah, so what's it like being an owner? You're 100% owner.
Yeah.
So what's it like?
Well, it's easy because the people that are running it are great. If it wasn't for Curtis and Adam and Eric and Jody and all the people and Carrie, the people that we knew from the store, if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be able to work like this.
Yeah.
They have such a long experience in running clubs, so that helps a lot.
And
that's a big factor.
For comics that are listening that want to get in at your club, what's the process? Is it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like put that out there. They can figure it out.
The
best way to go do is go to open mic nights if you're just starting out, or Adam Egit is the talent coordinator. If you're an established comedian, reach out to him. But he's been reaching out to everybody anyway. It's like it's nice. It's been very smooth from the opening jump.
And then mostly the small room is the developmental room?
Not always.
Developmental?
No, Chappelle did that room. He broke it in the first night. It's a fun room to do sets because it's very intimate because it's 120 seats.
Yeah.
It's
No,
really
I love that
packed in.
room. That was a great room.
Yeah.
Tonight I'm doing your other room, and I did Kill Tony last night, and that was great. So tonight's the first night that I'm going to do a spot in
You'll love it.
your bigger room.
Yeah, you'll love it. The sound's amazing. We really spent a lot of time making sure that everything was dialed in. And also I brought in Louis C.K., who helped a lot. Louis C.K. Had me change a couple things about the small room, had me make the stage smaller, and lower the ceiling even more. The ceiling was already low. It's like, can you lower it more? I was like, I think we can. Can we lower it more? And then there was like all these discussions. So it actually delayed the opening by a few weeks from his suggestions, but they were all awesome. They were all perfect suggestions. And then everybody else suggested things too. Tony had some suggestions. David Lucas had some suggestions. Like, comics have been coming to visit this for the last year and a half. We've been talking. Do you think we should do this? It's like one of those things. So I get everybody together, and I'm like, okay, should we have screens where you could watch the comics in the green room? Yeah. Okay, what about like if we have a clock over the screen? Like everybody has like a different idea. Okay, what about if we had stars? I think it might have been Brian Simpson that had that idea. We'll have, because the star, like the light in the OR, we have a blue light and a green light. Yeah. So we have the blue one for the big room and a green one for the little room, and they go off. When it goes off in that room, they go off also inside the green room. So you could be sitting there and go, oh, he's got the light. And you see it, and you just walk right on the stage.
And then when the customer walks in, I know I've seen the video, but they walk in, they go upstairs The bigger room is on the second floor, and then the smaller room is on the third floor. Is that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And then
It's horrible. I don't even think of it as having that many floors, but I guess it does.
And then also, I know when I was backstage with you when we were kicking it, you looked at your curtains and you said, "Oh, we got to change the curtain in the big room so it looks like the smaller curtain."
Yeah, the smaller room curtain's a better curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to be just thinking about those things, but
yeah. So should we tell Curtis to
no,
do
it's
that?
already done. It's
Oh, you already
done.
did it?
Yeah, it should be this week. It should be put up.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So it's gonna match.
Yeah, it'll be
gonna
better.
match. I was gonna ask you. I've been doing for the last couple of years. I've been doing a one-man show about my childhood. Yeah, and it was kind of like my version of Undisputed Truth, which is the Mike Tyson play.
Oh, nice.
So it's called Stick with the Dancing. So it's called Stick with the Dancing because that's what my mom said to me after she saw me perform for the first time.
That's hilarious.
So because I
Well, why
performed,
don't you come out and do a weekend? Want to do a weekend at the
that's
club?
why I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah,
do you
let's
have
do it.
screens on
Yes.
screens?
Yeah, we have screens.
On the bigger room.
Yes.
Okay,
in both
cool.
rooms. Yeah.
So if I perform, there's things.
Yeah. We have a projector in the ceiling, and
it comes
the sound
down?
guy can.
Oh, great. Yeah, I wanna do that.
It'll take like a little extra coordination with whoever's doing it, so they know what the files are, and you can go over them with them. But I'm sure
Yeah.
we could do it. Yeah, it's set up for that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool show, and
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's fun,
Dude, you got babysitted by Sam Kinison. I mean, it's one of the funniest fucking stories of all time. Like, what a crazy thing your mom did.
It was.
She left you as a little child as one of the most maniacal comedians that's ever existed.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't exactly like that. It was
What was it
more.
like?
It was more like Sam was. I was 14 years old. I was a short order cook at the Comedy Store in Westwood. My mom would put Sam on last because all he would do is scream. And then he would literally, there'd be 6 people left in the room in Westwood, and he'd throw the stools. He'd throw his stool at the audience members. They'd scamper off. He'd smoke weed in the parking lot, and then he would, I'd feed him hamburgers. So I I was always taking care of comedians.
What year was this?
This was probably 84, 85. I was in high school,
he really
yeah.
hit in 86.
Yes.
That's when he really hit.
Yeah. So
Did I ever tell you my story how I found out about him?
it's probably Boston with Parento or something.
No, a girl that I worked with at the Boston Athletic Club. Still to this day, I can't remember her fucking name. She was really cool, though. She was this big volleyball player girl, like just big athletic girl. And she goes to me, she goes, "Have you seen Sam Kinison? Sam Kinison, whatever his name was?" I go, "No, I haven't." And so she acts out in the parking lot the whole bit about him like
Ethiopia
being
or
no,
something.
no, the
homosexual
necrophiliacs
yeah. Oh,
having
God.
sex.
Oh,
with the,
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She acted it out in the
Right.
parking lot. She's like, "Oh, life keeps fucking you in the ass even after you're dead.
Right.
It never ends." Me laughing
Right.
at her acting it out in the parking lot made me go get the VHS tape. So I got a VHS tape of his HBO special, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So I found out about it from a girl acting out the bit. She was on her stomach in the parking lot going, "Oh, feels like something's in my ass."
I know you can't believe it. That angle was genius.
It's such a
Fucking genius,
hilarious bit.
genius point of view. That night was 1987, and that was at the Roxy on Sunset. And my mom had an after party for him at the house.
Wow.
At the Doheny house. So that night afterwards, Sam came to the house with everyone, and I was so excited because I wanted to show him my saltwater fish tank. Because as a kid, I had a saltwater fish tank, and I brought him up to my room, and I said, "Sam, look at my tank," and he wasn't impressed at all. He's like, but he told me to take the top off the saltwater fish tank. It was a big black top, and I took it down. He dumped all this Coke on it. And he started chopping up lines, and he says, "Have fun." And me and my friend Dave, we snorted Sam's Coke that night.
Oh, my
And I
God.
felt like so cool. I felt like, no, for real. I was like,
Of course.
fuck this guy. And then I just followed him around. So as far as him babysitting me, it was no.
So that was just the way everyone described it.
Yeah, I mean, Lois Bromfield babysitted me, Jackson Purdue babysat me.
So you were
Mike
essentially-
Binder, Argus Hamilton, all those guys. Yeah.
So you were essentially just like his young protege.
Yeah, I would fall. It was like the Michael Jordan commercial. Like, the kid wanted to be like Mike. I want to be like Sam.
Right.
So
Look
yeah.
at you.
Yeah. So
What
Yeah.
year is that?
I was probably 11.
Wow.
I was probably 11.
What a fucking crazy place to grow up.
Yeah, back then.
Oh my God.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah. Back
I mean,
then.
there's so many stories, dude. I mean, I'm there now, and it's great. Obviously, it's the store. But when Mom was there, it was just like you never know what the fuck was going to happen. You never knew who was going to pull in the fucking lot.
Right.
You never knew who was going to come up. It was just like it was like someone shooting guns.
Yeah.
Not literally, but just as far as the energy. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, Eddie Murphy used to show up with like 6 Rolls Royces. Like for real, dude. And then Richard would show up, and you know, and all these guys would just roll. And this is around when you got there. It was kind of towards, right? You got there 94.
That was
I
probably
saw
before when I got there.
Yeah, I saw the calendar you had for my mom where she put your name. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. So so that was that time. You know, I'm really proud of his Argus.
Look at this right here.
Argus, yeah.
What is that? What year is that?
That was last year. No, I'm just kidding.
Pauly Shore bringing up Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
When did Eddie retire? So he retired in what year? He stopped doing stand-up when?
I don't know. It was a while. I was at his house probably 5 years ago, and I was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're the best, dude. Like, let's go.
He's
like
like
"I don't wanna
literally
do
the
it."
best.
I think he should come out here and do it. He'd be great at, because you put the phones in the pouches.
Well, he could do that anywhere if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I think the hard part would be like doing it, just getting going. I think if he did it once, then he'd want to do it all the time. You know, but it's like you get locked up in that movie world.
But he's also encased in his house. That's the same thing with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, he would be great on this show.
I'd love to have him on.
Okay, Dre, what's up? I'm gonna put you on a show, so we could text him right now. So I've known Dre. When my mom died, he was one of like the 2 or 3 people that really reached out to me because he knew how close I was with my mom. Yeah, he sent me flowers. It was really beautiful.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was great.
That's very cool.
And but I went to his house. You know, these guys are so big and so wealthy. They enclose themselves.
Right.
So I saw him I reconnected with him at Dave Chappelle's show at the Hollywood Bowl. And he's like, yo, hit me up, da-da-da-da-da. I hit him up. I go to his house, and it's like fucking El Chapo, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like he's I don't want to reveal all the shit, but it's like, you know, it's pretty heavy. But I go in there, he's the same fucking guy that he was, 20, 30 years ago.
Of course. Most people are. They do deteriorate psychologically, though, in isolation.
Yeah, he says, yo, man, you want to see me? You come here. So it was pretty cool.
That's also a nice thing about having this club, that I'm hanging around with comics all the time, you know. And it's just, you're not isolated. You're out there. And as a comic, one of the things that does happen when you tour, we're talking about, you bring an opening act. You maybe hang out with them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole weekend. It's kind of isolating. And if you're not with that person, then you go and you use like local opening acts. I mean, maybe it's great and you meet a great friend. That's how I met Segura. Or maybe it's terrible and you have a shitty weekend with people you don't like.
So so what do you think of these guys? I mean, I'm a fan, of you, of Tom, of Bert, and all these guys. Like, do you ever pinch yourself and see what you've really? I'm not saying you're the holier than thou person that did this. Their talent speaks for themselves. But you have a lot to do with these guys' careers.
Well, they have a lot to do with mine too, though. That's part of the appeal of this show. Part of the appeal of this show is like having those guys on is great for me too.
Yes.
It's great for everybody.
But I'm just saying, because I've seen it. I've seen the slow build.
Yeah, but they're huge because they're great. That's what it is. Like you have to do the work and put it in. It's like everybody should have a chance to do it. Like giving someone a chance to excel. You shouldn't get any credit for that. Like the people that excel, they get the credit. Like what they're doing is what's exceptional, and they put in the work. Guys like Bert put in the work. Like he's selling out fucking arenas now.
I know it's fucking
insane. It's insane, but he puts the work in.
Yes.
No one can deny that, man.
He is
puts
the machine.
Fucking work
He's the
in.
fucking machine, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
he just
he's a selfless promoter. He's always making these great videos.
Yes.
He's always like fucking full on rah Bert with his big gut hanging out. He's a wild man. He's killing it. And his new movie's hilarious.
Yeah.
This Machine movie's going to crush it. It's going to crush it. It's fun. I watched one of the previews that he showed us.
Yeah, it's great.
Did he show us other things other than the previews? No, right?
Have you seen my movie Guest House?
I have not.
It's on Netflix. Eric Griffin's in it. Bobby Lee's in it.
When was
Steve-O's
this?
in it.
When was
like
this?
a couple years ago.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, you guys made a movie?
No, right before, but it came out in the pandemic.
Oh, that's good.
It's on
times.
Netflix. It's great.
Okay, that's great. To
It's-
have something come out when everybody's definitely watching TV.
Yeah, it did well. It's called Guest House. I play a guy that lives in the guest house that won't leave. So it's R-rated. It's the first R-rated comedy I've ever done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It's pretty raunchy.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's cool. I think you'll like it.
It's amazing the shows that popped off during. Like, do you think Tiger King would have become as
Absolutely
big?
not.
Right? It
No
seems
way.
Like, it was like a timing of the
No.
universe. It was
Yeah.
like perfect door opened.
Yeah.
Where everybody's at home and then everybody's like kind of freaking out. What better way to stop freaking out than look at some people that are way more fucked up than you?
Right.
Like, at
Yeah.
least you're not that guy.
Yeah.
You know, with this fucking outside brace on, carrying a pistol everywhere and fucking all these straight guys. Like,
Yeah.
this is wild.
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
guy, like, he owns tigers.
Yeah.
And how about the one person that got, I don't know if this person decided they were a boy or girl. Did they change genders? Whatever. Person got their fucking arm bitten off by a tiger.
Yes.
Instead of
That
going
was
through a
his-
bunch of operations, they said,
That
no,
was
just
his
cut it
boy.
off.
That was his boy. Yeah.
I don't want to go through 5 operations. Just
Yeah.
take this fucking arm off. Yeah. Bro.
Yeah. I know.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I mean, and then goes right back to working with tigers.
What do
Look,
you-
tiger in he, she, they, them's lap. Wow.
What do you think about the whole? I don't want to say the word.
By the way, free Joe Exotic. Free Joe
free
Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
Free Joe Exotic.
Let's go do a mobile your mobile podcast from jail.
I wish
Yeah.
you could give him a day off.
So what do you think about the whole? I don't want to use the word trajectory because that's not a real word.
Trajectory?
Trajectory. Thank you.
Of what?
Of just from the last 30 years of the entertainment business, you know, how it started off with, you know, movies, TV, and then like Real World came, and then, you know, and then what was it? Amazing Race and all these things. And then all of a sudden the internet came and now everyone's got their own show.
Yeah.
And then when you watch a movie with great actors like, you know, Pacino or whoever you think is great, you're staring at your phone, you're looking at your legs. What do you think about that? Because growing up, I never thought that this would ever happen. I thought everything was always going to be like the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I mean, you talk about when I was your age, this is really a big shift.
Yeah, it's
you know,
a huge
everyone's
shift.
famous now. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a big shift, but they're still making movies. They're still making television shows. Matt Damon made a video where he was explaining why people aren't making movies anymore, why they're not making good, and how hard it is to make a movie now. And he explained it from as, you know, a person who's like on the inside. And it's much more daunting than I thought. And then there's the television show thing. There's a lot of television shows now, right? There's television shows that are on Netflix and television shows that are on regular networks, but reality shows are very cheap, very easy, and very compelling, you know, and they found that out through Fear Factor and through Survivor and through, you know, all those other shows. That kind of shifted the landscape away from the sitcom. And the sitcom was our holy grail, right? When we first came to Hollywood, or not when you did, but when my generation came to Hollywood in like 94, when we came out here, everybody wanted a sitcom. You know, I mean, I remember when you had your sitcom on Fox. I remember I came out to the premiere.
Oh, wow.
It was like, holy shit, you got a show. Like, that was it. That's what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted the golden, that was the golden
That was her
handle.
rhythm. That was
Yes.
her rhythm, yeah.
Well, that was the times. That was what it was back then. Nowadays, if you're trying to get a sitcom, and other than Miss Pat, who's pulled it off, Miss Pat's show is fucking hilarious. It's really good, dude. But it's on BET Plus. It's not on a network, so she can swear. She can say whatever the fuck she wants. That show's really good. But other than that, how many comics do you know that have a sitcom, a multi-cam sitcom? You know, Whitney had one for a while. A lot of people had them. Tom Rhodes had a show back when I was on News Radio. He had a show. There was a lot of fucking people at shows. But now, no. Greg Giraldo had a show. He was right next to us when we were filming Fear Factors or filming News Radio as well.
It's the same thing with the talk show format as well. Everyone's got a talk show. I mean, not everyone's got a talk show, but there's the 3 talk shows. But then there's guys like you that trump the talk show.
Well, they're just playing with an outdated system. So they're involved in a system that has to stop every few minutes, for commercials. It only airs at a specific time, meaning you have to be there to watch it, or you have to set your DVR to watch it later. It takes a lot of additional steps. There's a lot going on that makes those things unappealing. The other thing is, a person goes on, they only talk for 5 minutes. If you're a person that wants to explain something very complicated, like the Younger Dryas impact theory, or like, if Bob Lazar wants to go on a show and talk about how he was hired by the government to back engineer flying saucers.
That's not a 5 clip on on Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do it. It's literally they're completely handicapped by the system that they operate in. You can't do it. When I saw Tom Green's show, he had this show that he did in his house that he set up like a talk show set in his house, and he had all these cables that ran from the talk show set up to a server room. Like his house had been converted into a television studio. So this is amazing. It was in 2007.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, okay, that's probably the way to do it. This talk show way, they're never going to give me one of those things. If they do, I'll fuck it up. I'll say something stupid. And
so when you saw Tom Green's show, that's when you and Red Band sat on the couch.
Well, we did it a couple of
that
years
time.
later. We started doing things like we would do videos that we would do after shows or during.
Hook a brother up,
yeah, want
please.
some coffee, sir?
Hook a brother up. Dude, we're just hanging out. We're having coffee.
Yeah, we're chilling, brother.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, bud.
So we started doing that in like 2007 or 8. We started doing like green room shows with a webcam.
Yeah.
Just fucking around.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, we started doing a podcast again, just fucking around.
Yeah, because when you and I talked and we talked about me coming on your show here, I was so excited. It was the same enthusiasm I got when I used to get Letterman, because I was on Letterman a lot, and his show, I felt like
It was a big deal.
It was cool. So
Yeah.
you're a big deal now with this. I mean, it's pretty fucking cool. So because your show it trumps Colbert, it trumps Jimmy Fallon, and it trumps Jimmy Kimmel's show, meaning it's a bigger deal for a guest to book. Oh, I'm on fucking Joe Rogan. Why are you laughing? What the fuck, dude? Come on. No, it's a big deal. So I got super excited when I was going to be on this, like I did back in the day when I got on Letterman, because I was so excited to get on Letterman. I was excited to come see you.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. You're a good dude, Pauly. You really are. You're a very nice guy. Remember when we did that show at the MGM and afterwards we hung out and talked? It's like, you're a good dude, man. You know? I've known you a long time. It's nice to see.
Well,
It's nice to see you happy, and it was really, like I said, it was really nice to see you killing on stage because you were having fun.
Yeah.
You were so loose. We were all howling. There's a bunch of comics in the back laughing, and that reminded me of the old days. It reminded me of the OR. Like when Joey Diaz would go on stage, we'd all sit in the back.
Yeah. Mooney.
Yes, when Mooney would
was
go
the
on, we'd all
fucking
sit down.
best.
Oh, my God,
Yeah,
everyone
we
would
just
sit
fucking.
down.
Well, I
Yeah.
threw everyone under the bus that show.
You threw everyone under
Well,
the
yeah,
bus?
you know, Nick, and I was having fun with some of your local people here. I was just fucking around with people.
Oh, yeah, no, that
Nick
was
from the
funny.
Vulcan.
Yes, Nick from the
Yeah,
Vulcan.
he's a sweetheart.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. That environment of the back booth, of sitting in the back seat of the company. You would walk in, you always look, Eric Griffin, what's up?
Yeah.
It was always like people
That's
sitting
how
there.
Holtzman is now when I see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him a couple weeks ago. He was really fucking nuts.
Oh, he's out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's so funny, though. He's always got the absolute wrong take on whatever the fuck is happening in the news.
Yeah.
in the most brutal way
Everyone
possible.
goes left, he goes right.
He goes hard.
Yeah.
He goes hard. Remember when Susan Smith drowned her kids?
Oh, yeah.
He was on stage like a day later.
Yeah.
I heard those were bad kids.
Yeah.
I heard they sat that close to the TV. They never put away their blocks. They always spilt their milk. Those kids will not be missed. It was just so crazy watching him do that. We were howling. Holtzman's a funny motherfucker. He's a funny motherfucker. I was wearing my Brody shirt today.
Oh, wow.
I got a Brody positive push shirt. He was a funny motherfucker, man. He was a fun guy to watch at the end of the night. There's a special moment that I only experience at the store, and that moment is when the show is old and someone kills. The store gives you this thing where you get a chance to see when the show is old and someone goes up and kills. When it's just like maybe there's 25 people left and it's late at night and someone just goes up and is coming in hot.
Yeah.
And they're killing for 25, 30 people.
Yeah. Rick Ingram has done really well too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, he's opening up for Chris Rock.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
amazing.
That's how Chris found him. He
At the
just,
store?
Yeah, he just saw him. He's like, "Fuck, let's roll."
That's great.
And he went out there, and then he took pictures with Paul McCartney.
Wow.
That's pretty cool,
That's
Rick.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so.
Yeah, think about all the comics that have come from that place that your mother built. What an amazing thing. I mean, so many comics over so long. So long. You know, it's like so many years.
Yeah, Don Barris is doing great over there, too. He does this Ding Dong show.
Nice.
Yeah, he's cool. So.
The thing about places like the store, too, is that it used to be Ciro's. It used to be another nightclub. It used to have like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis perform there, and you know all these celebrities. Like there's experiences baked into the walls of that place.
Do you know how the whole store started, right?
Yeah.
You know, with my father and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know a lot about my father?
Not too much.
Yeah, my
He
father
was never around when I was around.
Yeah, but I'm talking about he wasn't. I mean, no one was around when he was around.
I mean, he was never around when I was there. So what I meant.
Yeah, no, meaning he started it. You know, he started it. He started it with his partner Rudy DeLuca, and they, they got the room and they developed it, and my mom got the store. But my dad, a lot of people don't know who he is and what he's about. If it wasn't for my father, no disrespect to my mother, but there wouldn't have been a comedy store. She might have found her way somewhere else, but he's the reason why they moved out to California. So he's the reason because of his career.
Right.
So my dad was guest starring on Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son, he played Brother Sam. He did a movie.
How many episodes did he do of that?
A couple. I mean, if you go on there, you could see Sammy Shores.
That's awesome.
Red Fox.
I love that show. I used to watch that show with my
it was
grandfather.
the best show. It was the best show.
Red Fox.
Oh my God! Yeah, there he is.
Look
That's
at
my father.
That's amazing.
So I call my dad. I call my father like he took one for the team, meaning him and my mom never wanted to be together. So my mom got pregnant and had Scott, my oldest brother. And this was an accident, and they got married, and she didn't want to be with him, and he didn't want to be with her, but he just sucked it up. And he was in this relationship with this woman, my mother, that he never really wanted to be in. So he started acting and doing all that, and then he got, he was opening for Elvis, he was opening for, Sammy Davis, he was opening for, all these great comedians and or all these great entertainers. And he started it, he started the beginning of it,
Wow.
You
And
know.
it was in the original
Just
room.
the original room, yeah.
How many? It only seated less people back then, though, right?
Yeah.
It was like 94 people, I think.
I think it was like that, and they moved the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad, he took one for the team, for us.
Isn't it amazing if he didn't do that? If he didn't do that and didn't give the reins to your mother,
Correct.
who knows what the comedy world would look like? I mean, who knows if a guy like Kinnison ever gets off the ground?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like,
Correct.
You need a place like that where it's a real artist workshop. I mean, that's a highfalutin term,
Well-
but that's really what it is.
Well, that's what my mom was. That's why my mom had this natural instinct to develop comedians, because it was in her veins. So what would happen is my dad would. That's where my mom met my dad, is when he was performing in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. So my dad was the comedian for a month in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. He was a touring comic, and my mom started dating my father, and she got pregnant, and then he took off. And, that's when when the whole thing where they're going to have the kid. And what happened is my mom would type up my dad's jokes in the back, would type up the jokes. This is funny. That's not funny. Try this. That's not good. And then give him pointers. So when my dad was always really nervous performing in front of my mom. So for instance, my dad got a shot on Ed Sullivan's show. That was a big deal for him after Barbra Streisand. So it was this big shot. My mom was like, he fucking blew it. He's nervous. He fucked it up. And it just made him more, this was part of the reason why I became an alcoholic.
Wow.
Was, being nervous, trying to make it. He would always kind of like, in her eyes, and if you Google my father, Ed Sullivan's show, Sammy Shore, you could see photos of him, but that was a big shot for him. Wow. And my mom says that he blew it. It's not happening.
Do you ever watch the?
Yeah,
the
I
clip?
have.
How
I
was
don't
the
think
set?
I don't think he blew it. I think he did all right. Look at this.
Ed Sullivan.
Yeah,
The
he was on there
Rolling
with the Stones.
Look at Mick Jagger. Look how amazing that looks. Give me some volume on that.
I mean, Jesus, this is the
Wow.
60s, dude. This was a big deal, dude.
Look at their faces. Listen to the girl screaming. Does anybody get that kind of reaction today? They're just shrieking constantly.
Yeah. So my dad was very much like me. He just wanted to be a free spirit, just wanted to be on the road, but he got her preggers and he got her pregnant, and he you know, you can't really, I guess you can perform and be dishonest in a relationship, because he wasn't faithful to my mom. You know, he had a crooked dick, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
And she would, you know, and it was tough for me growing up because I love my father, and he was a great dad, but my mom would always kind of like rip into him.
That ripping into him, though, like what that characteristic that she had made everyone better. She was so good at like pointing out what was wrong with your act, and you know that
Natural.
She was so good at it.
Natural. And I mean, it was hard for me, dude. Like when I first started doing stand up, it wasn't easy.
I'm sure.
It was fucking like,
I'm sure.
I mean, I had to make it quick.
Right.
Yeah, I had to
right.
make it quick.
Right.
Because I started when I was 17, 18, or 17.
And what year was Totally Pauly? How old were you then?
That was early 20s. But
Wow.
that time between high school, between MTV was like this, was quick. I had to like, I mean, she kicked me out of the house. I moved down the street. I was like, fuck you. It was that type of shit. I mean, it got really bad.
Of course.
Yeah, it got really bad. You get out of here, you know what I mean? It was when I was hanging out with Sam. I don't want you to hang out with Sam anymore. He's an alcoholic. He's a cokehead. And I was like, Mom, I'm not hanging out with Sam because he's that. I'm hanging out with him because he's a great comic. She goes, you don't understand. And she said, get out of my house. And she threw her keys at me, and it turned into this whole thing.
What was it like in Westwood in the early days? Like, you were there in '84. Like, what was that club like? Like, what was the scene like there?
So the Westwood Comedy Store.
Because that's where they developed, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of like the, let's call it the Red Band Room. No, just kidding. No, it was Westwood Boulevard is here, and then you got Wilshire, and then you got Olympic. You know So the Westwood Comedy Store was in between. It wasn't in Westwood Village. It was in between Wilshire and Olympic. And right next door was an arcade. So there's this big arcade, and then there was the Westwood Club. So on the stage you had Dave Tyree, you had Andrew Dice Clay, Roseanne, you had Arsenio, Sam, Carl LeBeau, and Dave Tyree. Dave Tyree, remember Dave Tyree?
Yeah.
He was funny, dude.
Yeah, he was.
Dave Tyree was really funny. I remember one time he went on that stage. He was all coked out and drunk, and he goes, "I don't know what you people are looking at me for," and he just fucking ate. He just ate shit off the stage. But that's how it was back then.
Oh my god!
Like I want to see people fall at the mothership. You know what I mean?
Probably will.
Yeah, but yeah.
But
So
back then, that was
Westwood-
like the whole culture was just hard partying, right?
Yeah, but she developed. She had a whole system. I mean, her whole system was, it was, if she liked you, it'd work the door, and then she would go work Westwood. And Alan Stevens used to, remember Alan Stevens?
Sure.
Yeah, he used to take me from the Westwood Comedy Store to Sunset, and he was always coked out. So he would do lines of coke and then take his renegade black Jeep down Sunset, and then he would drop me off, and I'd be there. My mom would come out of the store into her black Jag, and Argus would be chasing her.
Wow.
Yeah, and she would, get off of me, Argus. Leave me alone. I want to go home by myself. Leave me. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit. And then I got in the car, and then me and my mom would drive her car. And this was like 2 a.m. down Sunset, and we'd drive by the Whiskey, and Black Flag was playing there. And then all the punkers would spit on my mom's car, because we were rich or whatever. They'd be like, "Get out of here." And then we would drive by the Rainbow, and all the heavy metal guys would be in the street.
Yeah.
And then we'd go up, and then Argus would be pounding on the door. Mitzi, I'm here. I had to call the cops. I had to call the cops on Argus.
Is that when Argus was in his drug days?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
a
had
wild
to,
man.
Yeah, I had to call the cops on him. But
That's hilarious. That
But
Rainbow
yeah.
Bar and Grill is such a strange place. I only been there a couple of times, but it's like, geez, there's a guy from this band. There's a guy from that band. There's this guy's from Dawkins. It's a
Yeah.
weird like hangout.
Yeah, it was. It's again. It was like, I think it was like kind of the Comedy Store for heavy metal bands. It was
right.
where Guns N' Roses would go,
Yeah.
and Motley Crue, and
And everybody knew that they would go there.
yeah, and it was a big deal. And
Yeah.
it was a big deal. And there was different rooms, and you can walk up there.
Is it still like that now?
No. I
No.
mean it's there, but I mean I haven't been there in a couple of years.
The other place that's like that is, well, not like that, but a cool like hang is Dan Tana's.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best food.
That place has been around
Fuck.
forever. Like
Great
when you're
food.
in that, it's like you're in a time capsule
Yeah.
to a great restaurant from like the early '80s.
Yeah, the best
really
is
good.
the best is the chicken parmesan, and then
Everything's great
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Their steaks are
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, we got to go next time. you're
Linguine
there.
with clams
Yeah,
is
yeah.
amazing. It's a really good restaurant, and it's a fun hang too. There's always a bunch of drunks at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of people go there just to hang out. It's not just like go there to dinner. They go there to hang
Kip
out too.
Adada used to go there before he passed. I used to see him up there a lot.
I didn't even know he passed. When did he pass?
I don't know. It was a couple of years back. But yeah, Westwood.
So Westwood
was a
what-
great place.
What year did she open that place?
Argus knows the exact dates, but I think it was, I think the late 70s, something like that. The late 70s.
And what year
but
did Kinnison get there?
84.
So you were there when he got which is so crazy that 2 years later he's doing his HBO special.
Yeah. He was, I mean, dude, this fucking guy. I mean, his whole thing was the Letterman spot, the
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield spot. And like he did those 6 minutes on Rodney or whatever it was, sold out 3,000 seats. And then he did, and then he did the next Rodney Young Comedian special, sold out, 8,000, And I got to open for him, which was sick.
That's amazing,
Yeah,
dude.
we did the his second HBO special was at the Wiltern, and Ice-T was there, and this is when Sam was really fucked up. So if you look at the special, you're like, fuck, this guy's all coked out, and he's like not doing well. And this is when he came out with the chains with this girl
Yeah.
Malika and Sabrina. He's like, oh, and he's playing the music, and
Yeah.
Ice-T was in the audience.
Yeah,
and
that's
it was
right.
like, and he was like, Sam was doing some racist shit. Yeah, and it was. Yeah, he was wild.
Well, Sam had. Did you ever read his brother Bill, his book?
Yeah.
Brother Sam.
Yeah.
The book's called Brother Sam.
Yeah.
He talks about the slide, like that when he started partying all the time. He stopped writing. He wasn't performing as much, and he just
Yeah,
kind of like
I
lost.
saw it. Yeah,
lost
I saw it.
You could tell in the work if you go and
Correct.
watch his early stuff.
Yeah.
It drops off a lot,
Yeah.
which sucks because you'd like to see them just keep getting better. If he could somehow or another have stayed alive and kicked his addictions and just got better.
Yeah.
But sometimes what brings you to the dance also sinks you,
Well, he introduced me to my business manager. So I have the same business manager that I've had for 25 years. His name is Lester.
Hey,
Right?
Lester.
What's up, Lester?
Shout out to Lester.
And Sam, when he was all fucked up and coked out and all that, he had fired everyone in his life, except for Lester. So Lester was always with him, and he said to me, or Sam said to Lester, "Take care of him. He's like my younger brother." So ever since then, Lester's been taking care of me.
Wow,
And,
that's
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So Sam, he was, to me, Sam was like Elvis, kind of. He was fucked up, but he had the biggest heart in the world. So he would come to my mom's house. He would always bring presents.
Aw.
He's always bring presents, and
That's cool.
yeah, he was,
Seeing the look on your face when you were in our bar and seeing the picture of your mom and the neon sign, that was very cool. It was very cool to be with you, like right next to you the moment you saw it.
Yeah, no, it was,
was
like
very
I said when we first started talking here, I'm saying that speaking on my mom's behalf, I know her and I know what you're doing with her and how much you care about her and how much you love her and what she's done. I know she's really proud of you. She's really proud of you, and she's very proud of what you've done here and very proud of the bar. And her spirit is in the bar for sure.
Her spirit's in that whole building.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, we're all disciples.
Yeah.
We're all disciples of your mom.
Yeah. I took care of her, you know, that last 15 years. Every time I'd see you, I always wanted at the store. You know, I never wanted to bother you. I was always like, I wanted to always bring you to my mom, you know? And, but I think maybe we talked about it and you're like, yo, I'm good. I don't want to see her like that.
At the end.
Right? Isn't that what you said to me once, I think?
At the end, it was so bad. It was just like, it was just so heavy.
Imagine me taking care of her for those years.
I couldn't imagine.
I mean, imagine me going in to see her and she's in the chair.
Yeah.
You know, and she's, you know, and I always made it a point to drive her. I always made it a point, you know, me and my mom's caregiver and Scott, we'd always like put her in the car and drive her. And we'd always take her for drives until her back started hurting. And she'd be like, get me home, you know, but I'd always drive her by the Laugh Factory. It's hilarious. What the fuck is he working there for? The fuck? You know what I mean? And then we'd drive by the store. And then she'd be like, "What? Why is that marquee like that? Call Tommy." You know what I mean? Type shit. I mean, Tommy, whatever he did, but he took care of her, dude.
Yeah.
He did shit that a normal employee would not do.
Yeah, for sure.
Not do. He would carry her up the stairs. You know what I mean? And she wanted him to. You know, she wanted him to. And she felt comfortable with him. You know, whether good, bad, it's not us to say. That's how she felt.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you know, during those, you know, she didn't want to get sick. It started her, my friend Bobby was with her in the front of the store back in the early 2000s, and she's smoking her Capri cigarettes. And she starts seeing her finger go like that. And she goes, what's going on? Why is it
That was in the early 2000s?
Yeah,
really?
that's when she started getting sick, yeah. What's going on? And that's when she shifted her mind away from the store, and she didn't want to get sick. You know, she didn't want to die at all. And she did the best she could with, you know, whatever, you know, she got. I think a lot of it had to do with, you know, the business, you know, because she was an artist running a business. Let me say that again. She was an artist running a business. So she wasn't a real, I don't want to say the business sense wasn't really her thing. She was about the comics.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do both, you know, with the numbers and the insurance and the, you know, and the taxes and all that shit that fucked with her. Because that's not who she was.
Of course. Because if she was that way, she would never run the club the way she did.
Right.
She ran it like an artist.
So that's why I think she got sick. That's my feeling.
Interesting.
You know, that pressure. The business part of it.
It could be. I mean, pressure is fucking terrible for people. That kind of stress is terrible for people.
Yeah.
In so many ways. Heart attacks. You know, people freak the fuck out. You know, like you're not supposed to be redlined all the time. You got to find some moments where you're chilled out.
And she did start making a lot of money, and she did start buying property. She bought a theater on Las Palmas and Sunset, and she called it the Richard Pryor Theater.
Oh, wow.
Did you know about that?
Yeah, I'd heard about it, but I'd never been there.
Yeah, neither was
What year
Richard.
was that? Richard was never there?
No, but my mom loved him so much.
Yeah.
My mom loved him so much that she goes, he could develop his stuff here, Pauly. This is where he can go to develop all his stuff. And that's how much she loved Richard Pryor. She loved him so much that she, that's like you're going to buy Tony Hinchcliffe a club, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. And then she did the Dunes in Vegas. That was a big deal. Mm-hmm. That was a big deal.
Doing the Comedy Store in Vegas was a huge
deal. I got video of me and Chris Rock back then because she had the show called New Faces. You never did that.
No.
Because that was the 80s.
Yeah.
Late 80s.
When I came in, I had been doing stand-up for like 6 years. And when I lived in Boston, the Comedy Store was Mecca. It was the place that everybody talked about. Like, you got to get to the Comedy Store. Like, it was like, Kinnison came from there. Pryor came from there. And all anyone talked about when they talked about clubs, I mean, there was clubs that we were doing in Boston. There was clubs to do in New York. But really, everybody wanted to get to the Comedy Store. And then when I first got there, I was on a sitcom already. And the sitcom was not doing well. It was on Fox. It was failing. And the most important thing that happened to me was getting passed as a paid regular. And the Todd helped me out. The Todd sat next to your mom and was laughing really hard. And then he came up to me afterwards. He goes, hey. He goes, I laughed really hard at your jokes because you're really funny, and also because Mitzi's sitting next to me. And you're going to do that, too, to somebody else. I'm like, okay, you got it. I'm like, that's great. Like, there was a community there. Like, he set it up. Like, what the Todd did, he set it up with me where I was going to do that for everybody. Like, anytime anybody was really funny, I would go. And I would. One time, one time your mom I don't want to say his name, but your mom booked this comedian that was fucking terrible to host the open mic night, and Chris McGuire was supposed to do his first audition in front of your mom. And I was like, there's no fucking way. I'm like, I'll do it. So I hosted the open mic night just so that I could, like, set a stage for Chris. I just wanted it to be a good show.
I don't know who Chris McGuire is.
He's a good friend of mine from Boston. He's a funny guy.
Okay,
he I don't know if he does stand-up anymore. He was a very good writer. Very funny guy. He was a very funny comic, too. We started out together.
So he went on stage in front of her? He didn't do good?
No, he did well. He did really well. No, he got passed. But it was like I did the open mic hosting because I wanted to make sure it was set up good for your mom.
Yeah, tee it up.
Yeah, I wanted to tee it up
for your homie, right?
Yeah, I wanted to tee it up. Because, like, if you couldn't sit next to her and laugh, like, you should, like, tell her someone's funny, But if you fucked up, though, if you told her, you fucking think he's funny, she would get so mad.
Yeah.
Your mother had amazing taste, though.
The funniest is I'd sit next to her as well, and I would see people go on stage, and if she called you over, you did good, and if she didn't call you over, she wasn't interested. And I just they do their set, and they just walk by her, and they're like looking at her, and she's just like. Just going through her papers and shit.
Yeah.
But if she liked you, she brought you in,
But having something like that, like some gold standard bear keeper at the top, was very valuable for the comedians. It was very valuable. And she also would do, when she thought you were funny, she'd put you on after killers. You always had to follow, like, whoever was famous that was going to go down there. She wanted to make sure that you were tested, throw you into the fire, and that's how you get better. She just fucking knew, man. She knew. And it's all things that people talk about now, but I think in her own way, she sort of devised like a modern strategy for getting better at stand-up. Having the environment, which she created, having one person who's like ruthlessly critical that watches over everybody's material and everybody's sets, and then everybody aspires for the approval of your mom. And she had it set up so perfectly. And because she wasn't a comic either, and because she was, she's royalty in the stand-up comedy world, she had everyone's respect. So and she was right. She was right. She knew. She knew what the fuck to tell you.
She didn't like Seinfeld, which was hilarious. He lived up the street from me and my mom. So me and my mom would walk the dog, Kelly, her dog, and we would walk by his house. You know what I mean? Oh, there he is. Not happening. Rat-tat-tat, New York.
That's so
weird.
weird.
Keep it going. Let's keep moving. I'm like, Mom, be nice to him. He's go, no, let's go. And she just didn't buy into it.
That's so funny.
You know what I mean? She didn't buy into it.
I wonder why.
Maybe because he didn't need her. I don't know. Because he had already made it and he had his sitcom. He was Seinfeld.
Oh, so he was already on Seinfeld when he was
he'd been on that show for a while. It was around that time. And it was the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact date was. Or Seinfeld.
She didn't like it when you were too developed.
Correct.
Yeah, she liked getting people that had talent that were on the up.
Yeah, and she didn't really like a lot of New York comics. For some reason.
Interesting.
What I mean? There was also a rift between, obviously, her and Bud Friedman. And her and Lorne Michaels. People ask me, like, hey, when you were doing all your movies, did you ever do Saturday Night Live? Did you ever host Saturday Night Live? And I never did, and I think a lot of it has to do with Lorne Michaels and my mom.
I'm sure it can't help.
No.
Can't help.
Because she was harsh, you know what I mean? My
Yeah.
mom had Jim Carrey and
Yeah.
Damon Wayans and all these guys, and they were from the store.
Yeah.
And, so...
I wonder if your mom was concerned that if someone like Seinfeld got on, that people who would want to see sitcom style stand up, like very sterile stand up, would start coming to the clubs. Like, and then you would start getting people going to see people just because they're famous and not really because they're good. I mean, she probably had a method to her approach. I wonder what she was thinking. Or I wonder if she just didn't want it because he was already developed and she couldn't work with him.
I don't think she just liked him. I just don't think that.
She
I
just
just
wasn't
don't
into
think
it.
she liked that style.
But as she's driving by his house, she's still talking
No, we're
shit.
walking. Yeah,
Oh,
walking by the house. And then he said some shit.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
He said, and that's another thing. He never asked me on his fucking car show. I got all my friends on his car show. I'm like, dude. And it's again, I think like it's always awkward. And Leno too. Whenever I see Leno, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Letterman's cool. I love Letterman. But Leno's always been weird because these guys, like, Leno striked against my mom, and there was this weird thing, and
My relationship with Leno is very different. He's always been very nice to me, and we both love cars. So I have great conversations with him about cars. I don't know the history of that. I mean, I do know it, but I wasn't aware of it.
But
I don't
my
know that.
point is that he never did anything to me. I'm just talking about my mom's relationship with Jay, and I think it has to do with the strike. But when I did see Jay at the Palm Restaurant in Beverly Hills years ago when my mom was there, he came up and gave her a kiss. But then, of course, she mumbled, "The fuck is going on with him? Tell me to get the fuck out of here." That's just the way. She was
that's
so
hilarious.
funny, dude.
She was so funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when your mom told you were funny, it was like the greatest gift
Yeah.
that you could ever give a comic. She came up to you and like put her hand on your arm. That was really funny.
Yeah.
You're
She
like,
never
"Holy
said that
shit."
to me.
Ah!
I had to become famous, bro, before she put me on her stage. For real, dude. I'm like, Mom, can I go on stage? These people are here to see me. You're not ready. Not happening. You got more. And she was right.
Yeah.
Because I was fucking around.
Right.
Yeah, hey, bro, whoa, da.
Right.
You know what I mean? But she, I mean, I've been told by comedians that she was very proud, but she never said it to me. That's another thing is she never told me she loved me.
Oh, wow.
I can't say I love you because then you wouldn't be a comic.
Oh, my God. You're a science project.
She used to lock me in the back bedroom.
I can't say I love you because then you wouldn't be a comic. Wow. She figured out a way to make you a comic.
I programmed him. I used to put him in the back bedroom. He would pound his head against the crib.
Jesus Christ.
It's true. So
Imagine if that was like how like a dictatorship created comedians. Like Soviet bloc, they decided
hilarious.
to take over the comedy world and they're just going to torture kids. Just start open mics, torture kids at a very young age.
I think we have a good thing
Get
here.
them
We
to
could
a
do it at the
farm
mothership.
system. Yeah, you fuck them up. Now, you'd have to do it in a country that doesn't have the Constitution.
Right.
If you're going to do it right, it's got to be some communist dictatorship. Maybe China could do this.
Right.
They're probably already kind
Russia?
of doing something. Yeah, Russia could do that. And then introduce
Saudi?
them slowly to the idea of
Like
stand-up
that.
comedy.
But beat them first and torture them, right?
Definitely don't make them comfortable.
Right.
Don't beat them. Did you get beaten?
No.
See, that would be
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't be able to get on stage. You'd be fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, like what are the odds that someone becomes a stand-up comedian? If you look at the 300 whatever the hell million people it is just in this country alone, forget about all the other countries that do stand-up. What are the odds that someone becomes a comic? Like they're not that fucking good. They're pretty small.
I tell people, I say, because people come up to me, I'm sure they come up to you. I'm like, don't do it unless it gets you out of bed. Don't do it as a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 55. I've been doing it for 35 years. I love it now even more than I loved it back then. I just love it.
I think when you get older, one of the things that happens is you can appreciate it more. You can appreciate what this thing is. You know, you appreciate how lucky you are to be able to do it. It's so much fun. And it makes people feel good. It really does. Like the whole audience has a great time. Everybody feels better. It's like a drug we all take together. We're all laughing about things together.
Yeah.
You know, it's just my job to put it together. It's your job to, you know, piece together your ideas in the most palatable way possible. That's what we're all just doing. And it's the most fun thing to do. And the fact that you do that for a living, of course you'd want to do it all the time. And as you get older and you realize that, you know, most people don't really get to do what they truly love to do. There's most people out there are in some weird thing where they kind of like what they do, but they maybe wish they were doing something else. When you're doing stand-up, when you're on stage killing, you never think, I wish I was doing something else. You're just like, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It's for me, and I'm sure for you, it's the place that I feel the less stressed.
Yes. The least stressed.
Least stressed. You know, after you get off stage, you're like, you know, there's this, I don't know if it's dopamine or I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's a release.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when my mom was dying, like those 15 years, I was touring a lot. I wasn't around the store a lot when you were there. I was on the road, and it fucking saved my life. Big time.
That's awesome.
Big time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a stress reliever that we have. We're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very lucky. It's just, you know, it's amazing how much it takes, like how many pieces have to be put into place to make a club work. That's why it's amazing that your mom was able to do it and sustain it for so long. There's so many moving pieces. There's so much going on, you know? And you're dealing with so many different personalities. You know, so many different crazy people that are performers.
Yeah. It's interesting because when I'm there now, I look around and I see her there. Like I said, that's where she talked to Roseanne. That's where Gary Shanley was. That's where Sam walked into the bar. You know what I mean? These ghosts.
Yeah.
You know, they're still there. Like I feel like her there. Yeah. Yeah. She, you know, she left an amazing legacy, for sure.
Yeah, she definitely did. When you're doing stand-up now, are you doing clubs on the road? Are you touring around? Were you doing
Mostly bowling alleys?
No, but I mean, you doing the road? Or are you staying in L.A.? What do you?
Mostly
what have you been doing?
the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have a nice audience out there that, after all these years, you know, I don't want to say shocked, but I'm still appreciative that
dude,
these people come in my, you know.
You put on a good show, man. You were funny as shit. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was fun to see. It was fun to see you loose and relaxed. Because I think when I've seen you at the store, I think because you grew up at the store, the connection you have to the store, I think there's a lot of pressure on you in a not a positive way when you go on stage there.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, I said that to you.
Yeah.
I said that, yeah, because when I walk in the store, even if I'm not performing there, it's uncomfortable.
Right.
Because I'm walking into my mother.
Right.
I'm walking into my father. I'm walking into all that history.
Right.
You know, and when I'm away from there, it's Pauly Shore. It's the guy from the movies. It's the comedian guy. It's, you know, they don't
really
care
silly.
about that. Yeah.
You were silly and loose, and I was like, I think that's the first time I've ever seen him like that, which is crazy. Is all the years I've known you to see you that loose, like the first time ever.
Yeah.
But it's like,
and that was the first time I was ever on your stage.
yeah.
So that was cool.
Crazy.
So I felt really. You know, I love that room. I love both.
Yeah, they're both. You're gonna love the other one too. But that room is special. There's something cool about it. It's very unusual.
And so, what's it like touring with Chappelle? I mean, you must be pinching yourself on that.
It's
I
fun.
see you on stage with him. You must be. I mean, because you know, and I know he's got to be the best out there.
He's the best right now.
Yeah,
he might be the best ever.
I agree. I mean, his 8 shows at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, he's
I
a
mean,
monster.
Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, those guys, George Carlin, they never sold out 8 nights at the Bowl.
No,
and he
he's a
could have done
monster.
20 more nights.
He could do whatever he wants.
What's it like working with him?
It's a privilege. You know, you're very, very, very fortunate to have an artist of that caliber as a great friend. You know, and he came to the club the first week it was opened. Maybe second week? Maybe it was their second week?
Yeah, he was there.
Second week? Somewhere around there. It was like right when we were like really open, and he actually opened the little room. He was the first person on stage in that little room was Shane Gillis. Shane did 15 minutes, and he brought up Chappelle.
Right.
And then Chappelle did he did over an hour. I think he did like an hour and a half. And he was just fucking around and being loose and just working on new material. He goes, I'm here to practice on y'all.
Yeah.
he just practices on people, and he comes up with material that way. He puts himself in these very vulnerable positions, and he works through ideas and has someone film it, and then that's how he pieces together his material.
Yeah. You know, when I watch his Netflix specials, you know, he's got so many of them. They're still fresh.
Yeah.
You know, and I watch other people's Netflix specials because I'm open to other comics, and it's just like, I can't connect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with him, like I always say, people always ask me who your favorite comedian is now. I say, there's Dave Chappelle and there's everyone else. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I grew up around it. I'm not saying there's not great comics now, but when I look at that OR stage now and I see the comedians on there, my mind goes to Kennison. My mind goes to Robin. My mind goes to, because those are the people that I saw on that stage. Mm-hmm. And with Chappelle, I'm just like, it's just, I've never seen anything like it. You know, we're so blessed to have him in our lives.
It's not just that it's really funny. It's like the things he's talking about and the way he's breaking things down. Yeah. His perspective on things. It's not just being funny.
No.
It's a very interesting perspective. It's
and
a very smart perspective.
He's so relaxed and he's so like fucking... You know what I mean?
And he loves it, man. He's on the road constantly. He's always doing stand-up. He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah.
Loves it.
And then I went and visited him and I got his shirt. He gave me a shirt. He has a shop. He's got a Chappelle shop with all his clothes. I went to his little town. I'm sure you've been there. Have you been to Yellow Springs?
I haven't been to Yellow Springs.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's dope that he did it, the way he set it up.
Yeah, so because we were at his house and he did that vitamin drip. He did that.
Yeah.
And it was just me and him.
You ever do that?
I haven't done it. Oh, no, wait, I did it. No, they did connect me that day. They gave me a vitamin drip.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's the bomb diggity.
Really?
Yeah,
you do that.
Especially if you feel bad. If you don't feel well, it's really good. IV zinc and vitamin C
and so the nurse comes over
glutathione.
Right?
Yeah, they give you an IV. Rehydrates you, gives you a lot of vitamins. It's just athletes love it.
Yeah,
they like to do it as much as possible.
Yeah, I think Adam Ray, I saw him recently in West Hollywood, and he was coming out of a place like that, and I think he was doing it too. So I want to try.
There's quite a few of those places now. When you were living in Vegas, did you go up at all? I
did.
Where were you working at?
I helped start Wise Guys.
Oh,
which is the comedy club there with Keith.
Right.
So Keith's the owner of the Wise Guys, you know, in Utah.
Mm-hmm. I heard the Wise Guys in Vegas is awesome.
Yeah. So
it's a great
Duncan's
spot.
played there. Ari's played there.
How many seats?
It's like 200,
Nice.
220.
Nice.
It's in the Arts District.
Nice.
So yeah, I played there, and I did some shows at the Laugh Factory.
Where's the Arts District?
If here, it's
near off of Fremont.
Downtown is like another city. Downtown should not
hilarious.
be Vegas.
It's hilarious. So
Don't call that Vegas. What is that?
No, here's Fremont, and then the Strip's over here. So Arts District is in between Fremont and the Strip.
When you think of Vegas, you think of casinos, right?
Yeah.
But there's like a whole vibrant bar scene.
There's
and
great
restaurants.
Great restaurants.
Yeah.
There's a place called Esther's Kitchen. There's Sparrow and Wolf. That
is not Vegas. That's like
there's a small yeah.
Right. I guess it is Vegas. What am I saying?
That's the
real Vegas.
That's the heartbeat of Vegas. Those are the industry, the Vegas industry, all live off the Strip.
Right.
The dancers, the magicians, the bottle service girls, all those girls, and all the people. Summerlin, Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there for two and a half years. It was great. It was during the pandemic. I lived next to Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Which was cool. Carrot Top's actually the one that reintroduced me to him. So, and I had known Nicolas Cage because we went to the same high school from back in the day. So, so when we connected, it was weird because I'm like you, huge fan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been doing it for 40 years, and his movies are, he's one of the best actors. So when he'll hit me up, he'll be like, "Yo, come out, let's go," and then he'll like text me, and he'll be in his $500,000, Ferrari. I'm like, "Where are we going?" He's like, "We're gonna get some sushi." So we'll go get sushi, and then we'll drive down Las Vegas Boulevard. I'm like, "Dude, you don't need that." He's got 8 cars. I'm like, "You don't need this." He goes, "Yeah, but it's badass." That's his answer to it. It's badass. I'm like, "All right."
He's correct.
It's true. And his house is awesome.
Yeah, but you're a little more sensible. Like, hey.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Nick?
Yeah.
Slow down. He's trying to be Nick Cage.
Yeah, he is.
He's doing it.
He loves it. And his house is cool, and he's great. Very, very, but he doesn't, he's not on social media. We signed an NDA. He made me sign an NDA.
Wow.
That I can't like put any videos or photos anywhere. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't sign it. But I'm just saying, but one of the first conversations with him is when I came over to his house. He's like, come over, you're my neighbor, out of nowhere. Right? So I come over, we start having a nice glass of wine. And he says, I'm not doing your podcast. I'm like, I didn't ask you to fucking be on the podcast. I'm just here. What's up? And he goes, just one thing, promise me. He goes, don't ever, post any pictures or videos of us together because I want to be private. I'm like, cool. And ever since then, it's been cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
But I do have a lot of photos and videos of him.
Of his dick?
Of his penis. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice,
no.
nice.
But he is funny, dude.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He seems like a real character. And it's so funny that he changed his last name because he was connected to Francis Ford Coppola, right? Because of his nephew. Is that what he is?
Yeah. No. What he said, what Nick said is when he first started acting, he was on the set of I think it was Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He was with I think it was Sean Penn, and there was different actors, and they go, oh, you're just here because your uncle is Francis Ford Coppola, so he didn't want to be known as that. So he didn't want to be known as that. So he wanted his own identity, and it worked, because America or the world, they don't think like, oh, that's Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, because his father was Francis Ford Coppola's brother.
Right. That was in the 60 Minutes thing, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it in there. The 60 Minutes thing was fun. It was very fun. But what a great move, too. And name yourself after a fucking superhero. Yeah. Nick Cage. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's been in so many fun movies, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was in, what's the Arizona movie?
Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, Moonstruck and Leaving Las Vegas. And,
but Raising Arizona was fucking amazing. So many fucking great movies. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. We hang out at this sushi bar in Vegas on Sahara. It's pretty good. And we just, he's very sensitive, as you can imagine, but he's a sweetheart.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
Smart of him staying off social media, too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not his
need
thing.
it, buddy. Yeah.
It's not his thing.
You don't need it anyway. You're Nicolas Cage.
And he goes from one movie to the next movie to the next movie, and he loves acting.
Dude, how about Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That movie was heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Did you see Pig?
No.
That's his favorite movie that he did.
Really?
You got to watch Pig. It's
I've
fucking
heard it's
great.
really good.
It's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Pig
That
movie.
and Guest House, my movie Guest House. Watch Mind Stoned. Yeah, look at him right there.
What is Pig about?
Someone steals his truffle pig.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and he's not happy about it.
Oh, he looks wild as fuck.
Yeah.
Look at him. Where's he supposed to be living?
I think it's in Portland, in the woods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, he's such a sweetheart. He's such a great guy and such a, I'm very, happy that I got to connect with him.
Who Has My Pig? Is this an action movie? Does he fuck people up?
It's like a drama.
Good movie.
Is there like John Wick with pigs?
Not quite. Not quite. But close, I guess.
There's all those movies like you fuck with the wrong guy.
Yeah,
There's so many movies like that. Boy, did you fuck up. There's so many movies like that. That was The Old Man. Did you ever see The Old Man?
Mm.
It was a series that was on, is it on Apple? It might be on Apple. It's on one of them weird ones. But it was really good at first. And it just like kind of teetered off.
It's called what?
This is on FX. Does that make sense? Might have been on Hulu.
Put up an image of it so we can see it. Old Man. And
wow.
it's Jeffrey Bridges. And he plays an old hitman that people fuck with the wrong guy.
I love Jeff Bridges.
They fuck with the wrong guy. It's one of them movies or one of them shows. I really enjoy They Fucked with the Wrong Guy show. Mm-hmm. that was really good in the beginning. It's really good for a few episodes, then I lost interest for whatever reason. But the beginning it's worth the ride.
I haven't seen it. I haven't, I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one. But yeah, so he's there. Who else was there? I don't know.
In
But
Vegas?
yeah.
Well, you have a lot of clubs there now. Like Vegas is a real scene now.
Yeah.
There was Jimmy Kimmel's club. I think, is that still there?
I think it's still there.
And then there's Brad Garrett's club. It's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And then you have the Cellar that's there. That's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
I hear nothing but good things. You have Wise Guys. That's really good.
Yeah.
Nothing but good things.
Yeah. And then you
have
got the
Laugh
Factory at the Chop. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
if they're doing daily shows, how many of those are they bringing in people for an entire week? Like a headliner? Is that how they're doing it for the most
Yeah.
part?
Sometimes they'll bring in. Yeah. Starting like on a Wednesday.
Yeah, well, sometimes
Yeah.
it's like on a Monday. I
Yeah.
look at some of the schedules. and
The last, I don't want to say the last time I was at the Tropicana, but I remember a couple of years ago I was at Tropicana. Gallagher had like he had the 7 o'clock spot.
oh, wow.
Yeah. Remember Gallagher?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he passed. So.
Yeah. I remember when his brother took over, became Gallagher too.
Mm-hmm.
He quit. And then his brother started doing his act. And he's like,
Yeah.
hey, I want my act back. they had some sort of a dispute over who gets to be Gallagher.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it. Imagine Scott taking my act.
But just the idea
Yeah.
that you could have a guy who kind of looks like
Right.
you because he's your brother, but everybody knows it's not really him.
Right.
Like,
But
how
they still pay. They
bizarre.
still pay to see him.
And then when you say, "Hey, I'm going to go back
Yeah.
to stand up," you got to stop doing that. It's like, "Fuck you, bro."
Yeah.
Like you literally gave this guy his whole career,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Unless there was maybe some legal work involved.
Well, there's also a lot of these lookalikes. So like I saw, I think Legends of Las Vegas, like because I saw some of the shows while I was there. I saw a Prince lookalike,
Oh,
and he
wow.
was great, like
Wow.
unfucking believable. I saw a Rod Stewart lookalike, and I saw Rod Stewart, and the lookalike was better.
Well, the lookalike meaning an impersonator. Like,
Yeah, the impersonator. Yeah.
So like they sing them and the whole deal.
Yeah, he does the whole thing. I mean, I
He's
saw
better
Rod
than Rod Stewart?
Well, Rod Stewart's amazing, but he's
Well, you know what happened with Journey, right?
I don't.
Journey had Steve. What is his name? Steve Perry. Steve Perry retired from Journey.
yeah, they got
and then
a
this
kid, yeah.
young guy
Yeah,
who
yeah.
used to do a Journey cover band,
Yeah.
who has the most insane imitation of Steve Perry. His voice is incredible.
I remember.
So his name is Arnel Pineda. I think Pineda. It might be Pineda. And he's from the Philippines. And this dude was just a fan. But gotta listen to it. Listen. See if you can find one of them. Listen to this.
Oh wow.
Thank you. Salamat, kababayan.
I mean, it's incredible.
Oh wow.
But he's so good, like, it doesn't bother you at all that Steve Perry's not there. Maybe it bothers some people,
Let's see it.
but it's so good.
Just a small town girl.
Wow.
Living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy. Born on as a South Detroit. Took the midnight train
He sounds exactly like the dude.
Wait till he hits the high notes. When he really goes off, like you're like, this kid is fucking talented.
Sing up in a smoky room. Smell of white cheap perfume. For a smile it can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Sing with me. Strangers waiting. Up and down a boulevard. The shadows searching in the night. Street lights, people living just survive the mountain island.
Now here's the thing that's crazy. Look at that audience.
Right. They don't care.
Not only that,
Yeah.
they're young.
Wow.
These are young people.
Right.
These are like new Journey fans.
Right. Didn't they do this with Alice in Chains too, right?
I think this guy, does he speak like
Filipino.
perfect English? Does he speak with an accent? Which is wild because he's singing perfect.
Yeah, because is he Filipino or?
Yes, he's from the Philippines. That's why he's holding up that flag.
Oh, wow. Didn't they do this with Alice in Chains, right? Alice in Chains? Yeah. Huh.
Is he in there talking? Is that on Oprah? I'm sure she must have had a conversation with him. There he goes.
She was everything to me.
Whatever. Seems like he has at least a slight accent.
Yeah, but
actually, play
yeah.
some Steve Perry. Give me a comparison. Don't Stop Believing by Steve Perry, the original Journey.
We're gonna rock out, right?
I think he's doing something slightly different. He's got his own spin on it, and it sounds amazing for sure. It sounds amazing, but there was something about this dude. Because this dude wasn't very classically beautiful, like a lot of rock stars. You know?
Yeah. Jesus. I mean, that's the fucking guy, dude.
Bro.
Yeah,
Bro.
that's the guy.
We wouldn't know the difference. Now you would.
Born and raised right here in Houston. He took the midnight train.
Did you ever get to see a lot of big hair bands back in the day when you were in the 80s?
Not
Like
really,
like
man.
big stadium bands like UFO or
No.
like The Who or
I saw Jay Giles' band in Boston.
of course.
I saw George Thorogood.
Yeah, well, you saw some. I mean,
Yeah,
those
I
big-
saw. Who else did I see? I saw a couple other bands. So the kids that I was hanging around with in high school liked to go to concerts. I was like, "What are you talking about? We're gonna go see live music."
Yeah.
Johnny Winter. We saw Johnny
Oh,
Winter
wow.
too.
This is Alice in Chains with their new singer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever, were you a fan of Alice in Chains?
I was, yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Does this guy sound like him, or is he doing his own thing?
I think so. That's a guitar player. Talk box.
Wow.
God damn.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's pretty good.
Woo! That dude's
But
good.
put on Lane. Put on a song with Lane Staley.
Yeah, we'll go to that. But what's that dude's
Look at-
name? What is that dude's name?
He's great too.
Yeah, he's great
Yeah.
too. He's
Yeah.
great too.
Yeah.
There's a
Lane was fucking magical. This guy.
what is that gentleman's?
William Duvall.
William Duvall. He's a talented motherfucker.
Yeah. Look at Lane though, dude. Lane was the fucking
Oh
man,
my God,
bro.
he was a maniac.
For man.
He was a maniac.
I
Them
brought
Bones?
these guys on stage a couple times. I mean, fuck, dude. This was my favorite band out of Seattle.
Beeped it. Dude, pull them bones. Put up them bones.
What a, I mean, these guys.
Them Bones is a fucking jam. It's such a horrific
I know.
song too, because you know this dude's talking about fighting heroin. This fucking song rules.
So good, dude. There you go. End up a big old pile of damn bones. I mean, yeah, the best.
If you're listening to this on the treadmill, you will run faster.
Put River of Deceit, Mad Season. Do you know who that is?
No, I
Yes,
don't.
you do.
I do?
Yes, you do. So Mad Season was a band that was put together with Lane from Alice in Chains and the guys from Pearl Jam. It was a side project.
I did not know about that. Do you know about that?
Mad Season?
No.
Well, I hosted MTV, so I was.
Of course. You were in the loop.
I was in the loop on this shit. Check out this Check out his voice on this. Dude.
What year are we talking about here?
Like 93
This.
or 4?
So in the band was Pearl Jam, because those guys were all ancestral. All those bands up there, the Seattle scene. I love this song. This is beautiful. Wait till you hear his fucking voice on this. Crank it. Maybe we should dim the lights, bro, and do some heroin. What do you think?
I'm scared.
So these are the guys playing from Pearl Jam in the background. Is self-chosen. So that's the same guy from Alice in Chains.
It's Lane.
Yep.
Yeah, what a voice he has. So unusual.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know if Them Bones is about him fighting off heroin, but goddamn, it seems like it is. You know?
Yeah. Mike Starr also was in the band. He died as well. Him and Lane both died.
That heroin culture is a strange culture. The heroin musician culture is very, very strange, because it's very prevalent amongst elite musicians. You know, in terms of, like, you look at the guys that we all worship, like Hendrix did heroin. Morrison most likely did heroin, right? I mean, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain did heroin.
Yeah.
Lane Staley did heroin.
The guy from Blind Melon, the lead singer of Blind Melon.
Yeah.
He died of heroin, I think, too.
Yeah, it's so prevalent, man. It's so prevalent. It's just like you know.
That's
you
one
gotta
thing.
wonder, like, what is it about heroin and music? Like, there's something about there's probably a feel to it or something.
I think it's a place they want to go. So I think they're writing, but they feel like, yo, if I do this, I can go even to another level. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can ask Jerry, the guitar player. He'd be a great guy to have on your show. Jerry Cantrell. Ask him how Lane came up with those lyrics. I don't know.
If there's something, I think there's something to heroin and its effects on people that we're looking at it only in a negative way. I've never done heroin, but I did do a morphine drip once when I had my knee surgery, and it was amazing. So I would imagine heroin feels fucking great. But there was a guy that I knew that was a pool hustler. He was like a big-time pool player in Connecticut, in the East Coast, and his name was Water Dog. They'd call him Buffalo Bill or Water Dog. And this guy was a heroin addict, and he would go into the bathroom and he would shoot heroin.
Fuck.
And after he'd shot heroin, he would sit on the bar stool like this. He would sit at one of those billiards chairs. He would sit there like this.
Oh, my God.
I'm not kidding. For like 15, 20 minutes, just sit there like this.
Wow.
And then when he got out, he couldn't miss a ball. He couldn't miss. So he was gambling for thousands of dollars. There was all these people yelling and screaming. There was so much money involved because it's like this guy who was like a local gambler, George the Greek, was playing against him. And there was a lot of money being bet on this, thousands of dollars. And this fucking guy couldn't miss. He had eyes like a shark, like just like his pupils were fully dilated, and he was just firing balls in. Like he could see where the ball was going with pinpoint precision. It was wild to watch. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with heroin? Like how do so many musicians create amazing works of art with it? How do so many, like Mitch Hedberg loved heroin? You know, he's like one of the funniest guys that's ever lived. Like what is it about that drug?
Maybe I should do heroin. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I know.
I definitely don't want to do it. I'm scared. But I'm wondering, like, what is it
Are you
about
scared
that?
because if you did it, you'd really dig it?
Oh,
Or-
yeah. I
and then you
don't want to do anything that I would really like that can eventually kill you.
Right. You couldn't just like, oh, I'm just going to try it.
No, it doesn't seem like a try thing. Heroin seems like it's like...
What about Coke? Have you ever done Coke?
No, never done Coke.
Really?
No, never done Coke. No one believes that, which is very insulting because I tell the truth about everything. But that is the one that I avoided it because when I was a kid, I had a friend whose cousin was selling it, and his life fell apart. I watched his life fall apart. I knew him before that, and then watching him afterwards was like, fuck, man, stay away from Coke.
Do you think if you did it, you would want to do it some more, or you just?
I'm
don't
sure
know?
I would love it. Yeah,
Right.
I'm sure I'd love it.
Yeah.
I think everybody loves it. Just like there's certain things that a man's got to know his limitations. You know, stay away from things like Coke.
What about
Also, like artistically, I'm not interested in anything that makes me more comfortable. I'm interested in things that make me less comfortable. I'm interested in things that make me less secure. That's why I like weed, because it makes you like analyze your behavior more. You know, and see the faults in your own stuff, because you're kind of looking at things almost semi-paranoid.
When you write, do you smoke a doobie?
Yeah, when I write, I do.
before.
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah,
your
right before.
writing process?
Depends on what time it is. If it's at night and I'm leaving a club, I won't smoke anything. I'm already probably a little high, and I'll just sit in front of the computer and I just start writing. Just start writing. Yeah, just try to find anything. And all I'm looking for is like paragraphs that I can extract. I'm looking for a premise, and some of my best bits have come out of that, just like forcing it. And then once I force an idea, like get something down, then I start dissecting it and chopping it up, and then get it to a place where I feel like this is funny enough. I know where it's going enough that I can talk about it on stage.
And when you write, you don't write for the joke. You write for the angle and the story.
I just write on a subject. So if I'm gonna write, this is just one way I do it. Another way I do it is I'll come up with something funny and then I write it down on my phone. I do that a lot too. But when I write, it's like, say if I'm gonna do something about caffeine, I'll just sit and write about caffeine. Like if it's not really a good subject, but you know, whatever the subject is that they think is funny, I just start writing about it. Looking at it from all the different angles. Looking at it from a silly angle. Looking at it from a hater's angle. Looking at it from a lover's angle. Look at it, twist it up. Make it so like, even though it's a ridiculous thing to say, maybe this is good for society if this happens.
Right.
You know, and like have funny ways to look at it. And then I try it on stage. And then when I try it on stage, I listen to it and I fuck around
You listen
with
to it back.
Yeah, I'll listen to it back. Or I know what I said, so I'll just go and work on it in the next set and try to find like another way to go in it. Maybe I'm missing something. Like sometimes the best version of a bit came from just a chance way of saying it a different way one night. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so much better. Like you fixed it instantly.
So do you have, I don't want to say a team of writers, but people back there, you just have the audio?
It's just just me.
But you remember it?
Well, I record everything. I record everything on my phone.
Yeah, you recording this conversation?
I record this conversation. Yeah,
God
dude.
damn
All
it.
the stuff
God
you said
damn
about
it.
Nicolas Cage. We're in trouble.
We're in trouble. So what about observational versus personal? As far as where your head's at regarding that?
I think you should think and talk about what you're interested in thinking and talking about. And right now, what I'm interested in thinking and talking about is that this is a very bizarre disconnect between the people in this country and why we tend to join groups and decide that the people in the other group are the bad people and we're the good people and we're going to stop the bad people and this is going to be great for everybody. Like, slow the fuck down, everybody. This is what I'm thinking about today because I've never been more concerned that we could be in a fucking nuclear war in my life than right now. I've never been more concerned about whatever the fuck is going on with Russia and Ukraine spilling over into the United States and causing chaos for everyone on the planet and death and destruction beyond our imagination. The fact that that's on the table is so fucking crazy.
And he's not going to stop this guy, right?
Dude, the whole thing is a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess with NATO moving into surrounding countries. It's a mess where Russia invades Ukraine. It's
So
horrible.
Is it just
good.
about real estate?
It's about many things. I'm not the person to talk to you about this. If you want to listen to Dave Smith talk about it, he's very, very knowledgeable, and he can explain in detail how NATO started violating some sort of an agreement, and they were moving their arms closer to where Russia is, and people had specifically said that they were trying to get Ukraine to join NATO. And if Ukraine joined NATO, that would be at the border of Russia, an armed force of the whole world. And it's just tactically, if you're a general, if you're a person who is a president or a king of a country, you're not going to let somebody like pull right up on your fucking border like that with a new army attached to it. Like, why? Why do you guys need a new army? What are you planning on doing with that new army? Why are your fucking cannons pointing it at us? It's all bad. It's all bad, dude. And it's all bad because the military-industrial complex is a gigantic force of nature and power and money. There's so much going on, and it's a natural thing that happens when people get into power. When people get into power, if they have that kind of money, they're making that kind of money, one of the things that they absolutely are going to do is they're going to try to make as much money as they can with any situation that comes up. Now, if you're in the business of telling jokes, that's great. You're just going to tour and do bigger arenas. Yay, you're at this big place. Yay, you're at this place. More seats, more tickets. But if you're in the war business, you're just getting to the edge of no more civilization. Like, you're pushing things to the edge of what could happen today if someone's fucking crazy and someone is dying already and someone is a dictator that literally has the ability to launch nukes. On your last breath, you could fucking and then it's chaos. And the question doesn't become whether or not he should have done that. Of course he shouldn't have done that. The question of, could there have been steps that were made to prevent that from happening in the future? And if those steps could be made, they should probably be made, because this is where we are. This scares the shit out of me in a way that nothing in my life has ever scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
Yeah,
it's the real deal, and it doesn't. Why are we involved in this? Why is anyone involved in this? Why are groups of people involved in this kind of conflict when the groups of people don't benefit? That's what's weird.
Well, I think that we as Americans, from my feeling, is that we see these poor people get killed, and we don't want to have our guys, like Afghanistan go in there, but here's some weapons because we feel bad for all your innocent people that are dying. So you guys figure it out.
That's a great way to look at it.
Right?
Yeah, that's a positive way to look at it. Like, if you wanted to positively support the
that's
sending money and weapons
that's
to Ukraine,
America.
That's what he would say.
I think that Putin knew that going into it. He goes, we're gonna do this, and I know America is going to give these guys money, and it's going to fuck up their economy.
Could be. I mean,
because our economy is pretty fucked up right now.
Yeah, but I think it would have been fucked up anyway. I think these people are goofy. I think it's really hard to run a country, and most people aren't very good at it. Just how it goes. There's very few people that are actually good at it, and it's very clear that this country is being run by a bunch of people other than just the president. I mean, I don't know how much say he has, but it's a lot of other people are involved, and they're not doing such a great job, and they haven't made course corrections very good. There's a lot of mistakes that have been made that didn't have to be made, and that's just how it is. It's just like it's not being run well, and so you have to go, well, who could do it better? Could it be a Republican, or it could be a better Democrat? And if it's not a better Democrat, like, how are we going to get a better Democrat if you don't let the president debate? So they won't let him debate because Robert Kennedy Jr. and what is that other woman's name? Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson, apparently they're both promising candidates for the Democratic Party, but they won't let him debate before the primaries. So it's like, that's not that democratic. Like, that's not how it's supposed to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think both sides are fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think both sides are.
It's all run by money, man. It's just like they let money into politics, and people can profit off of decisions, and it's a mess that you can't pull out of. It's one of those things, like, once you've got that in there, it's like, you're not taking the pee out of the ocean, kid. It's like it's in there. You're not fixing that.
Yeah, and the news organizations. I mean, I flip back and forth, and when I was growing up, it was just a news anchor just reading the teleprompter and basically just reading the news. And now both sides have something to say. And I never
They're editorializing.
Yeah, I never remembered that. And it's I watch it because I'm a comedian and I look at the comedy in it, and I don't take it serious.
Well, that's good.
You know?
Because otherwise it'll freak you out.
Yeah, and these news anchors, they roll their eyes, they say shit, and they're both way too far left and way too far right.
Well, you're taking a real chance if you're running a corporate network and you have on people that are going to give opinions. Because you're going to have people that just give the hot take of the day and repeat things that everybody says and, use phrases that they've heard on TV and the news and know that they have to hit certain beats in order to be accepted. And then you're going to get people that are very arrogant about enforcing their own personal ideologies and their sets and views of things. And they'll argue with people in a very uncomfortable way, where you see people with differing opinions now on the internet in particular having thoughtful conversations with each other, even though they have different opinions. It doesn't have to devolve to this like stupid like name calling, yelling game. Like why? Why are you calling each other names? Why are you insulting each other? Like, is this getting anything done? Like, can you keep it together as a human being? Do you have the character to keep it together? And so this like the way people communicate in these like short clips in these CNN things when you're watching people argue about stuff. It's like, my God, is this a bad format for this? And my God, are you guys bad at doing it in this format? Because it's like you're just virtue signaling and complaining. It's like the way you're interfacing with people.
Yeah, I think it's all fake. I think the second the cameras are off, I think Tucker Carlson is super liberal, and I think that Don Lemon is super Republican.
Imagine.
I do really think that.
I don't think that, but I do think that Tucker Carlson used to be a deadhead.
Yes,
which is amazing.
Yeah, he's from California. He's from he's from Santa Monica, but I think it's all entertainment. I think these guys are as narcissistic as the most actors that are in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think these news anchors, second the camera's off, they're looking at their like anyone else. I think it's entertainment.
Dude, they're just human beings. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're just human beings. And everybody is subject to the same weirdness. All of them. No matter what the profession is. It's like the job of being a news anchor is so strange. You're distributing the news. Hi, I'm Pauly Shore with the news.
Right.
Today, Putin learned that Ukraine said that they're going to and then you know that you don't know jack shit.
Exactly.
And you're just reading off a teleprompter. Yeah. And everybody comes to you and they want to take a picture with you at the restaurant. Hey, it's Pauly from the news. Yeah. And you're sitting there like, it's a fucking weird gig, man. You're a reader of the news.
Yeah.
And you have to do it in a fake way.
Yeah, well...
There's a way to talk, Pauly. A way that settles people and calms their fears. And that's the way we prefer to talk here on K106.
Yeah. You know who I loved was Brian Williams. Remember him on MSN? Loved him.
Yeah, he was good at that
I thought
voice.
He was great.
He was very good at that voice.
He was great.
He
I
had
love
the
Ted
best
Koppel. I love Ted Koppel.
He got in trouble because he lied about Iraq.
Yeah.
He lied about getting shot at. Which
but then that kind of went away a little bit.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not the people that got shot at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not really interested in hearing from you anymore. If you can just like make up a story, but Hillary Clinton did that too, right? Didn't she like make up some, or there was a dispute in her story?
Yeah. I just wish there wasn't a Fox and a CNN. I wish there was just a said news and you just read what was on the news and it was the people to decide what they think.
Yeah.
As opposed to giving opinions. That's my thought. That's how it was when I was a kid.
The thing is, it's like you don't really know these people very well. So even when they're giving their opinions, you don't know them very well. You don't really know them. You don't really hear them.
But they should probably have a disclaimer and say like, yo, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
I'm just reading what it tells me to read, so please don't get mad at me. My job is to read what's on there.
Imagine, I want you to imagine this. Imagine if all of your interactions for the rest of your life would be like you sitting on the couch of a talk show. You would go crazy. You would go fucking crazy. Imagine. If that's how you communicate for the rest of your life, or if you only talk to people that talk to you like a news anchor,
Oh my God.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine if the only way they talked like a politician giving a speech.
terrible.
Pauly,
Yeah.
what we can do for this country is different than what anybody could do for any other country.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you that with my commitment, you'd be like, dude, fucking relax.
Slow the fuck down, right?
What do you-
Speak normal.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Imagine if that's how people talked forever. You would go mad. You would literally go insane.
Yeah.
Like we allow a certain kind of fake kind of thing, a top 40
phony,
DJ voice.
Phony, yeah.
Imagine if they only talked in top 40 DJ voices. Pauly Shore walking into the room, ladies and gentlemen. Pauly Shore can be seen at the blah, 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 at the blah, blah, blah. Tickets available now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's weird.
And then and then we go back to what I said originally, which is the phones. Before I always said that before the internet, if you were a crazy person, you could just back in the day, you would just be crazy and sit in the corner. Now, if you're a crazy person, you can actually be crazy, and I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
People get to have their opinion. When I was growing up, I didn't know everyone wanted to be famous. I thought if you wanted to, I didn't. I thought it was just New York and L.A.
Right.
I didn't know people, in Iowa would be like, yo, check out my cornfields, dog. You know what I mean? Yo, check out my steak, dude.
Have
like
you seen this guy who only gets hit in the balls?
I have not.
Have I sent you that guy, Jamie?
Oh, which one?
The big fat guy
He's
with
like, which
that's
one?
missing teeth?
That's not a new thing.
Yeah, what's his
But
name?
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, God damn it. I know I have it saved. But this dude, let me figure out who I sent it to, because I sent it to someone recently.
Send it to me.
This dude just keeps getting smashed in the balls.
And he's probably got 1 million followers, right? People love it.
He probably does.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm going to have to find it. I definitely sent it to quite a few friends, but I don't know where it is. This dude just gets hammered in the balls all the time. He's a big fat guy with tattoos on his face.
So
I
that's
mean-
my
No,
point,
yeah,
though.
we
You seen him?
played it before on here.
But
Yes.
that's my point, right? It's like,
What's the homie's name?
I have to find it.
He's crazy. He's like missing his front teeth and he just gets kicked in the balls. And he's probably making bank.
Yeah.
Probably driving a Ferrari.
yeah, I didn't know that.
Bro, he gets hit in the balls so hard.
Yeah.
So hard. You're like, you're going to die. You're going to die
Who
from
hits
your...
them? Just random people?
Well, I'll show you. Multiple different kinds of people.
Oh, God.
They hit him in the balls with a hockey puck. Watch this. This dude...
So he's Canadian, obviously.
and this
right?
dude's a serious hockey player, too. Like, he whips it in there. Oh, my God. He shot it right in. Right
Oh,
in on
no.
the sack. Bro.
Oh, wow.
This was 4 years ago. when this
Okay,
happened.
so he's been getting kicked in the balls for decades. So his balls look like cauliflower ears.
Hold my fries. Is that a Canadian thing? Like hold my beer?
Mm.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
this
know.
is...
Hold my fries.
Maybe it's all just like grabbing
This
your
is
dick.
yeah.
'cause
This
you
is
got
what
hurt.
people want to see, right?
There's a lot more brutal ones than that. Like him getting what did he get? I think he got
it's
a
for-
golf
it's
ball.
For fat guys. Hold my fries is for fat guys.
Oh,
That's
okay.
hilarious.
I think he got a golf ball whacked into his balls and a bunch of other stuff too.
But yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I mean,
and there you go.
that's-
You
yeah,
can make it.
There. That's my point.
You're gonna make it happen.
On your own. But
Yeah.
it's some.
Yeah,
It's
you
so-
could do it a lot of different ways now. And
Yeah.
I think that's the big change. You could do it a lot of different ways. And there's people that become famous through TikTok and Instagram and all these different things and YouTube and podcasts. And, there's always going to be movies because movies are fun. They're
Yeah.
entertaining. There's
Yeah.
always going to be television shows because people like to watch television. It's just they have to adjust to a different time,
Yeah.
But if you don't want to do that anymore as a comic, you don't have to do that anymore. Because it used to be that you had to do that if you wanted to do comedy, because if you didn't get a sitcom, people wouldn't come to see you in the clubs because they wouldn't know who you are.
Right.
You had to, someone had to find out who you were. You had to either get a special on HBO or you'd have to do the Tonight Show with Johnny back in the day. Or you had to get, there had to be some way.
What do you think? I thought what Ari did was great with
His
his
last special?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, but I thought I love how Ari just says fuck it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It says I'm going to do something completely different.
Yeah.
And I thought that just.
And he thought about it for a long time, too.
Yeah.
He worked on that set for a long-ass time.
Yeah, but I just love that he, said fuck everyone. I'm just going to do it myself, and he paved the way.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Jay Oakerson did it, right? A lot of people have done that.
Well,
And I
Shane
think if
Gillis
you
did it
can't-
before him, and a lot of his success came out of that as well.
And I think I think, the internet is a great thing for guys like me, especially because, if I'm not getting a movie offer, if I'm not getting a TV offer, and I'm going on stage, I'm touring, I still want to do other shit.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, I can do a YouTube, I could do Instagram, do all my stupid videos. So I think it's a good thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a good thing. It's definitely a good thing.
It's a good thing for several reasons. It's a good thing to get your stuff out there, but it's also a good thing to stay creative, because in the old days, if you come up with an idea, you'd got to develop it, and it takes a long time.
Yes.
Now you come up with an idea, you could put it out the next day.
Yes.
And I love that. That's what's great about YouTube. So I could put my stuff right out on YouTube. I could do videos on there.
No,
and I think it's
fucking
cool.
Huge,
yeah,
man.
I think it's
huge.
cute.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And it's great that comics can just be free. And they're not attached to this thing that can't accept them if they have jokes about this or that or anything, or if they're controversial or they swear too much. Or, it doesn't matter anymore. Like now, with podcasts are a completely new industry that is as big as television is, if not bigger.
Yeah. So a bad thing's a good thing.
Yeah, it's not even a bad thing. It's just a changing thing.
Yeah.
And you give people access like this to something that's, where you could pause it anytime you want, watch it whenever you want. Like a regular talk show, it's clunky. It's clunky. It doesn't work that good.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were, you're imagining where it's going to go, it's probably going to go to some completely unexpected place next. Like, nobody saw a podcast coming, right? Nobody thought this was ever going to be a big thing. So there's probably something like that that's going to be coming next. And you'd have to, like, predict it based on, it'd have to be, like, you'd have to analyze, like, lifestyle things and, like, you have to figure, like, what new kind of technology would interface with people? Like, how would people enjoy something in a new way? I don't know what the answer to that is, but whether it's virtual reality or augmented reality, but when that comes along,
it's also when you go to a nightclub and you see back in the day when you go to a nightclub, people would be up dancing, and now you go to a nightclub, people are staring at their phones.
Yes.
So if you want to talk to a girl, you can't really, because they're staring at their phone. That's why I think it'd be cool to have some sort of, where you kind of can hijack and go into someone's phone if you're imagine
like you can airdrop them a picture
exactly.
instead you airdrop them an invitation to
buy them a
FaceTime
drink.
you.
Yeah, buy them a drink.
Can you do that? I wonder if you can airdrop a FaceTime request. That would be a fun.
That would be cool.
Fun way to do
imagine
it.
some babe, imagine some babe is like, you want to talk to the babe, but she's staring at her phone, and you want to buy her a drink, and you're like, you just airdrop your video, and then you're like, yo, babe, I'm right here. Let me buy
On
you.
second thought, that's a terrible idea.
Okay.
That's a terrible idea. I just thought about that because I'm a guy. Like, if I was a girl, that would be a terrible idea. You'd just be getting dicks airdropped to you
it's true.
from all over the bar.
There's a scenario where it'd be good, but everyone has to be on the same page.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it, Jamie.
And then there's the dating
Yeah.
apps.
Whatever the fuck
That's
is next
crazy.
after phones is going to make phones look like a typewriter.
Yes, right?
Whatever's next is going to be some mind-changing shit, like literal mind-changing, like some sort of a neural interface, something real next level, where it's going to just, you're not, I mean, they were talking about having like a portal to the internet that's like connected to your brain all the time. What does that look like? What does that seem like?
Well, you could put in like something in here and go open the door like that now.
Yeah?
Yeah,
On your fingers?
No, I have a guy I know that goes to his office and he puts like some chip in there and he goes like this and the door opens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he has like a key fob. Yeah, we have key fobs like that do that.
Yeah, it's inside your hand, right?
Yeah.
No,
well, it doesn't have to be.
Are you talking about like an implant? Because
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about an implant. I thought you meant a ring.
No,
There's
like an
both,
actual
but-
inside.
Imagine they make you wear a chip ring, like with the logo of the company on it. Keep your ring on 24/7, even when you shower.
Yeah.
If your ring breaks, we'll get you a new one. But you are a proud employee of Walmart. You will keep that Walmart. You have a fucking Walmart ring.
Well,
That's
don't
gonna be
you
a
do it
present
with
first.
dogs? Don't you do that with the dog?
Are you
lose
calling
your
people
dog?
dogs that work at Walmart? You son of a bitch.
No,
Did you hear what he said?
Your dog. I have a dog. I have a chip in my dog,
Yes,
so if my
yes.
dog gets lost.
Yes. Or if your dog it's actually for your dog gets picked up at the pound.
oh, okay.
So the pound can scan it, and they can get your
kind
data,
of like a head of
your
lettuce.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, beep.
Yeah.
And if you have a chip in there, and then they go, okay, Pauly, we found your dog, which is
Yeah.
nice. That's nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
It's a wild ass time.
Yeah, it's going to get wilder. This Michio Kaku interview that I did yesterday, we were talking about quantum computing and what that means and what they're going to be able to do as they get better and better and better. It's like, holy shit. He's like, there's a giant revolution. It's going to change the world, and it's about to happen.
What did he say?
Well, there's a competition right now between Microsoft and IBM and Google and China. And they're all trying to be the first to develop a real quantum computer. They already have a couple that they've devised, but they're only designed to do very specific tasks. They don't have like an artificial general intelligence quantum computer yet. But when they do,
So what's that going to be?
it's that whoever figures it out first. There's a mad race right now between these giant corporations and between the country of China. And they're in the middle of this battle to see who wins this. And whoever wins this likely has technological superiority over the entire world, because these things will be able to crack any kind of code that anybody has, any encryption. It'll be able to crack everything.
So what's it look like, or what is this guy's vision of what he thinks it's gonna look like?
Well, what it looks like now is like some super fucking science fiction-y space shit. It looks like all these crazy golden coils that are wrapped around this one smaller device. And the smaller device is this computer, is this quantum computer. All that other stuff is just the cooling mechanism for the computer. Can you pull up an image of it with whatever Michio Kaku put on yesterday? It's the craziest shit. Because you look at it and you go, oh my God, that looks like a science fiction movie. Look at that thing.
Or a brewery in Iowa.
Welcome to the Golden Tap.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that thing, though. All that stuff
Jesus
on the top
Christ.
is all cooling. And that small box at the bottom with that blue light on
Yeah.
it, that's the computer. So all that other stuff is...
And that's your friend?
No, that's not my friend. That's the CEO of Google.
Oh. So he's
Michio
touching it.
Kaku is the guy who was the guest yesterday.
Yeah.
But that guy is one of the people that's involved. That's the CEO of Google. They're doing their own quantum computer, and IBM is, I think, as well.
So this
and
is
Microsoft as well.
to basically hack into everything?
What that is going to develop a computer. What they're eventually going to be, whatever version of it, whatever it looks like when they get it done. It's going to be a computer that can operate like 1 million times or more powerful than any computer that's ever existed.
Wow.
I think that's a correct statement. Is that right?
It's not incorrect, but I do want to correct you on one tiny thing. This little on the picture here.
Yeah.
That what you're seeing there, that's like a router behind the machine.
Oh, so that's not the computer at the bottom?
Yeah, the little box that he was sort of trying to explain is like it's right
above
more
that.
like this, and it's just covered up by everything.
Oh,
inside of
okay.
it.
I see.
It'd be harder to see.
Oh, okay. So that little, so it's even smaller.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
more like a
God.
microchip, but a little bit bigger than a microchip, obviously.
Really?
Yeah, that's
The computer itself is a little bigger than a
that's why you have to
microchip?
that's what I'm trying to. It's bigger than a microchip, but like a CPU compared to a PC tower.
Right.
It's kind of like that. Like this is like the tower cooling device.
Right.
For more of like a CPU that's probably like.
So how big is the
I don't
actual
know, like-
chip?
I'll try to find that.
Wild.
So this is a little chip like
it's
this, Joe?
It's like
Oh
this
my
disc.
God, look at it. It's not even that big.
Jesus.
I don't know
That's
exactly
the
how it
computer.
works.
Bro, what the fuck? That's
like-
alien.
Fits,
Yeah, it's
That's
more like
alien.
that
fits
than-
into like, it's going to fit into your computer?
No,
It's
that
the
is
brain?
going to be the computer.
Wow.
That's what's
And
crazy
where do you
about
stick
us.
it?
All
How
the
do
other
you-
stuff, instead of doing things with ones and zeros, I'm gonna fuck this up, I'm sure. They're computing with atoms, and they're doing their computation in atoms, and these computations are happening in multiple universes simultaneously. I'm gone, right? You say that, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, I'm repeating his words. Like, it's too confusing. He's saying that they're happening. So that's the size of it. Look at that. Tell me if they found that. And you said we've found a computer that is 1 million times stronger than anything that exists here on Earth. This must be from another planet. Like, look at that guy holding that up in his hand. Go back to that image of him holding it. If he said that was recovered from a crashed UFO in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, this is the answer to all of our worries. If we can get this attached to the proper cooling, it will be 1 million times more powerful than any PC that's ever existed. That's It's a scene in The Watchmen or something, right? That
Yeah,
looks-
I picture them doing the same thing, but finding an iPhone that doesn't have power. And you're like, if we could just
Right.
turn this on, we don't even know what that means.
yeah, but then the cell phone towers are out and there's no 5G anymore.
A device like that. I don't mean like specifically that.
Right. Imagine if they get past this whole cell phone thing and develop something that uses the Earth as a method of transmitting messages back and forth. The energy
like
of the
solar
Earth.
or something.
I don't know, like sending something through the air that is powered by that very air. Like instead of using a 5G signal, you use the signal of the Earth itself. Imagine if that becomes a thing. Imagine if there's a way that you can, like, instead of like sending things from tower to tower, which is insanely impressive, what if you were literally able to connect just human beings device to device with no network? They're so powerful that just like you can airdrop someone something on a plane, you know, even if there's no Wi-Fi or nothing. Imagine if your phone just connects to other phones. Like just does it some other way. It doesn't need a 5G signal.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem. It's so crazy that they could do it already. It's so crazy that they can send a video through the air and you can get it a second later. That's nuts.
Well, you remember when 20 years ago when you tried to download videos.
Oh, yeah.
It took a long time.
Oh yeah. It took forever. Even pictures. So
It was
sending
in-
a picture. It's
yeah,
like, tuck, 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 tuck,
Yeah.
tuck, 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 tuck.
It was interesting because when Napster hit, you know, you're trading music, people are sharing music and all that, and then you're like, well, people in the movie and TV business are like, hey, well, at least we're not going to get, that's not going to happen to us. And then shortly after that, people are sending, you know, copies of movies. Remember when like Spider-Man came out or something, and they're like, oh, we got, you know, a copy and we're sending it all over the internet.
Yeah.
Or what? I don't know if it was Spider-Man, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, that happens all the time with movies that get leaked.
Yeah. But when it first started to happen.
Well, when it first really started fucking people up was with Napster. That freaked people out.
Yeah.
You could download entire albums for free.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, wait,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, and that I mean, boy, you want to talk about a disruptive force in an industry. That changed everything.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
You can't sell records anymore.
Yeah.
I had Paul Stanley on the podcast, and he's very bitter about it. He doesn't like it at all.
Yeah.
He was saying it's stealing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, stealing is like steal a record, but the digital recording, like that's like we used to always record off the radio. You remember that when you were a kid? You would record on cassettes off of the radio,
Yeah.
but that's okay because it doesn't sound that good.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
nobody tried to stop that, and there was no distribution method.
Would you
Yeah.
stop an AI Sam Kinison album from being made right now?
I would not. I would not. You know what? It's like that Biggie Tupac thing that we played yesterday, which is hilarious. We played Michio Kaku. We played Notorious B.I.G. doing Nas lyrics.
Okay.
And like he was, you could tell his eyes glazed over,
Wow.
just like me talking to him about quantum physics.
I feel like though, if a Sam Kinison one, you guys know what that was like. You knew,
You would have
you knew
to,
him,
yeah,
but
you
would
would
be
have to write material
That's
that's
right, yeah.
worthy.
that's my point.
Good
You
luck.
guys would listen to it, be like, this kind of sucks, but you could play it for a kid and be like, that's actually, I love this. This is awesome. And then you're like, you guys don't know what it was like though.
Yeah.
To rewrite Kinison, you'd have to rewrite Kinison in the context of when he was hot in like the 80s. You'd have to write more material from back then. Because if you wanted to rewrite Kinison, he doesn't have cultural references. Like, how would he know what the fuck is he? We know he's dead.
You train ChatGPT with some new TikTok references, some new comedy,
Maybe.
and then all of a
No.
sudden you go like, and now tell this in the voice of Sam Kinison.
Not only that, tell if Sam Kinison was alive today.
Right, yeah,
And
that's
in the
what-
form
what
of
he
Sam
would talk
Kinison
about.
from 86.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. That's
So
how you
it
do
could happen, and someone will do it now that we've just
Yeah,
put
that's a
it
very
out there,
good
but-
point. That's a very good point. Yeah, I was thinking like you would like it's almost like if I wanted to see Hendrix play, if I wanted to see if I wanted to go to a VR version of a Hendrix concert, I would want to be in some fucking 1967 concert where the floor's muddy and there's dirty hippies around and you know and he's playing live in some club. That's where I want to be.
What's it called? It's hologram.
Holograms.
Hologram. Did that like fizz out?
Yeah, I'm fizzed out.
What about
They made-
NFTs? Did that
they-
fizz out too?
No, those are hot again.
Oh,
They're hot
okay.
again. In fact, I'm coming out my own
Okay,
collection.
great. Yeah. But you know what I'm
the
saying?
hologram phased out with Tupac. Tupac was too jacked. People got upset.
Yeah.
And they're like, enough with the holograms.
But it's also weird. Do you feel weird? I don't know if you feel weird, but I feel weird about it. When you go to a concert, not obviously your concert, but a normal concert, like a music concert, everyone is filming the act.
Yeah.
Everyone is going like
Yeah.
it's normal. And back when I was growing up, like I saw the Rolling Stones. I saw the Clash open for the Rolling Stones at the it was at the Coliseum, and I did a bad thing because I was obsessed with the Rolling Stones. I took my little tape recorder and I actually recorded, you know, I pirated it or whatever it's called, where you tape it, and I
Yeah.
drove to school on my bike and I listened to it, and I came in my pants because I was obsessed with, you know, Mick Jagger back in
Yeah.
the 80s. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Isn't it
But
crazy when you look at him in the 60s?
Yeah. But I was just like, this is amazing. But, you know, people do that now like it's no big deal. And the artists just let it happen.
Well,
Like,
I don't think
if
there's
they're-
anything they can do about it, Paul.
I know.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's information. I mean,
But you guys did something about it. I know Bruno Mars puts the in the bag.
yeah, that's good. But what I'm saying is just with things that are on the internet, if you have some sort of recording on the internet or it's like this world is just too strange when it comes to digital. What?
This is at
Yeah,
the
he
core of
recorded
this,
his own concert, right?
No, so this story happened recently. Coachella happened over the weekend, or like the last 2 weekends. This artist named Frank Ocean, his set was not streamed live on YouTube like most of the other ones were, but a fan found online like 450 videos of his concert and spent a lot of time editing them together and made the entire show available, like the hour and 20-minute set available through found footage online.
That's pretty
Put it
cool.
online, and now is being sued immediately by like Coachella for saying like, you can't do this, but he wasn't even there.
So how
He
they
didn't
sue
do it.
him?
Yeah,
how
they
could they
can't-
sue
yeah,
him?
That's part of the. It's a little bit of an issue, and he went into saying, I think when he found like right away they interviewed him, he said I'm gonna leave it up, and then they contacted him again, and he's like, okay, actually I'll take it down off my website. He was, I think he had it available on like Google Drive and a few other places for people to download. But now it's just out there, and he's like, it's already no people have it. You're never gonna stop this from being seen. It exists.
Why couldn't he put it out there? Because he was only at a festival.
There is like when you buy that ticket, you know, you're buying. It's a contract, So,
Right.
like, for the people that were there, they were breaking that contract by filming it and putting
Oh
it
my
online.
God! But
Yeah.
everybody's doing
Yeah,
that.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes a very.
Everybody's taking photographs and everybody's
Crazy.
filming.
Well, didn't
Everybody
the
is.
Beastie Boys do that a long time? I think they were the first ones.
They did it on purpose, though. Yeah,
Yes.
that was like.
Yeah, they
But
told
that's actually
that was kind of
brilliant.
cool. Yeah, I know.
What
This
the
is fucking
fans did
dope.
for that, it
That's
sounds
sick.
brilliant.
And I bet it's dope.
But how is Coachella losing anything on that? Why would they want to sue someone
Right.
for that? I don't understand.
Yeah. They know people have phones, and they know they're recording
Well,
them.
not only that, if that's the source of it, it's just fan created videos and someone creatively edited them
It's
together.
probably a dope video,
Said
too.
he downloaded 450 videos and he used like 150 of them to make
That's
the
sick.
video.
That guy's a
So, like,
hero.
Yeah,
that's
great.
He's gonna get probably hired to do other
Yes.
stuff now. So
I want him to
should.
shoot at the mothership, bro.
We
Our
have
show-
it. It's set up. We have it set up for filming. You could film there.
Great.
Yeah, that was part of the thing.
It's great.
Putting it together.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to change the curtain to the other curtain. I like that curtain looks better.
Yeah, no, I remember you
Yeah.
said that. I think that's cool.
I'm excited to have you there, dude. When are you hitting the road soon? You got any dates to plug?
I'm never stopped. I will never stop touring
Beautiful.
till I'm, George Burns' age. I'll always do stand up. So I'm just always on the road.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I just love it.
Social media for everybody?
Yeah, just paulyshore.com.
Austin, Texas, Wednesday, May 3rd, Comedy Mothership. Whoa!
Yeah, we sold that out. That was cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm here. I'd like to come here more often.
Come here more
For
often.
For sure.
You should. And all these gigs are up. Portland, Helium, that's a great fucking club. Fucked up city, but that's a great club. Las Vegas, Hartford, Connecticut, Albany, New York.
Yeah, and
Pauly
I
Shore,
also
ladies and
I
gentlemen.
also have this. This is my new album. This is
Oh.
cool. It's called Pauly Shore and the Crusties.
And
If you want
Pauly
to put
Shore
up
is
my
making
YouTube for
music.
a second, I have
Pauly
an
Shore is
album.
making music.
Yeah, we're releasing this on my website.
What kind of
Pauly Sh-
music is this?
It's just all covers. It's great. Turn it around.
Really?
Look at the covers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to number 2. Whole lot of love. Is that available? What's available on YouTube?
I had Rate
Just-
Me up.
What do you have?
Rate Me.
Okay, let's go with that.
Look at this is my band.
Thank you.
So this is called Pauly Shore and the Crusties.
Oh my God, where are you guys?
In my garage in Vegas.
That's
But
hilarious.
It's one of the best bands in the world. There's our neighbors. Wave to the neighbors.
So
That's-
your neighbors are out there watching you perform?
The
Yeah.
song is called Rape Me, and this isn't like our.
Do you have a crowd in the
here.
street?
People drive by, but most people they keep moving. This is the house that next door to Nicolas Cage.
Boy, I bet Nicolas Cage is super thrilled about you bringing all the attention to his neighborhood.
Yeah.
Here in spirit, and we might bring you here later.
So we call him
What?
Little Baby Larry David.
Yeah, we might rape you. So go over there. Here we go. People at home, if you know the song, you're welcome to sing it. Here we go. You guys count it down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Look at you with the slides on.
Rape me.
Okay.
Okay.
Rape me.
What the fuck are you doing?
I'm having fun.
It looks like you're having fun.
That's what it's about.
I get it.
So, yeah, we also have Pauly Shore is Dead. That's on the 20-year anniversary is this year.
Nice.
Pauly Shore is Dead, so that's on my YouTube. So I got a lot of stuff on my YouTube.
I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, thanks for having
Have
me.
fun. Thanks for being here.
Peace out.
Peace out. Bye, everybody.